10 seconds, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Stand by. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from Central California with your hosts Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting video worldwide at ParanormalCentral.net and broadcasting audio on the Dark Matter Network at ArtBell.com. Are you ready to witness something you cannot explain?
Welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from the bottom left-hand corner of the Nevada Triangle in a city called Fresno, California. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host. And, man, technical difficulties. We are sorry about it. So if we're sounding different, we blew something in here from between last week and today, and I don't know how that happened. But we are trying to adjust all the volumes and hopefully it sounds okay on your end. So, all right. Again, my name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host for the show. I'm also the founder of a group called the Sanger Paranormal Society. Have been in existence for over 13 years. We investigate. We just don't sit up here, think we know it all, but we don't know it all. But we're out there looking for answers for you guys, and that's why I started the Sanger Paranormal Society about 13 years ago, and we're still doing it. So we're getting all this great stuff, and this is the reason why we're doing this today on Paranormal Central, so we can show you what we find. I have a team. One of the members is on the right-hand side of me, Mr. Alan Thomas.
Hi, everyone. Hope I'm sounding all right.
And there you go. Okay. All right, let's just get on with this thing. If you are watching us right now, well, then obviously you're watching us on live stream, HD quality video. Well, it doesn't look like it at all. I'm gonna shut down the live stream really quick, and I'm gonna do a couple of things on there. Then I'm gonna come right back. So hold on, you guys, at live stream. Stand by.
Yeah, would ever be a sword point? Well, you know, if he plays nice, he could stay in chat. But
all right.
Yeah, I could see it's like going up and down.
Okay. All right, you go.
All right. The first story comes from the BFRO, and it's from May of this year, and it took place in Louisiana, St. Landry Parish, which is in central Louisiana. The nearest town is Belleville. And these people live, it's a husband and wife. They live on 70 acres, and it's mostly heavy forest and swamplands, and they're both in their 30s. And they just moved to the property earlier this year. And before they got there, the property was vacant for 7 years. So the animals and vegetation and everything took over. So they had some cleaning to do when they first got there. But on May 11th, around 1:15, it was a rainy day, and his wife was home alone. She was standing outside smoking a cigarette, and she hears a high-pitched scream or a whoop near the tree line. And it's about 105 yards away. Her husband went out there and measured it, so it's about the distance of a football field. And when she heard the scream, she dropped her cigarette. And as she was picking it up, she heard a second whoop from the same area. And this time she looked up, And when she did, she saw a 7.5 to 8 foot tall Bigfoot step out of the tree line, and it used both arms to move the trees and the bushes aside. And when it did, she could see the thigh muscles flexing. She said it was pretty big and had dark brown hair, not fur. She said she could see the skin underneath the hair. So it looked like it had a mullet. You know, the hair was short on top and long on the back, and very muscular, no neck. And as it stepped out, it turned to the right, and it took 5 long steps, swinging its arms, and it turned right again, and then it went back into the forest. She said it never looked up. It was kind of looking down, just deliberately looking where it was stepping. And so it kept its head down the whole time. It walked hunched over, long arms that were below its knees. She said the shoulders were massive. When her husband was out there standing in the same spot, it was about 2.5 times bigger than what he was, and he was like 5'11". So, and she said it had a duck when it went under a tree to get underneath the tree limbs that were near there, and her husband came nowhere near there. And when her husband measured the tree limbs, it was at 8 feet. So when after this happened, her husband was 2 hours away at work, and she called him and told him to get his butt home. So when he got there, she told him all about it. He went out to the area where she had seen this creature. He was on the phone talking to her, so he made sure that he went to the right exact spot. And he couldn't see anything. He couldn't see 2 feet into the bushes and the trees that were there. But when he stepped into there, he could see like an area that was all pushed down and stomped down, like somebody was sleeping there or watching from inside there. And you could see the house from there, and you could see everything in that little area that it was in. It was well hidden. And there was 2 foot by 4 foot sticker bushes all around. So he thinks that's why it was looking down. It was trying not to step on these bushes. So, because even though it probably has feet that are used to this kind of stuff, it probably doesn't want to step on them unless it has to. But he tried to duplicate the exact path that the Bigfoot took, and he said he couldn't even come close. He didn't have the stride,
right,
and he couldn't get over the sticker bushes that were there. But he, along with all the trampled down grass, and it had a bunch of 4 foot long limbs that were stacked. And he said it kind of looked like it was pacing back and forth in there, probably agitated that it has people living on its territory now. So the whole area in there smelled like a wet dog.
Wow.
And he felt like there was something there in the area watching him, probably taking measurements and all that good stuff. So picture 2 shows that area that he was in, the trampled down area, the little cave. And then picture 3 shows the tree limb that was broken off at the 8 foot mark.
Okay, here's number 2 right now. I'm showing everybody number 2. And then we're going to go to number 3. Okay, number 3
is the broken off one.
Yep, it's broken
and
off.
Their dogs would go down to the tree line, but they'd never go in it. They would go up to it, look around, and then run back to the house. Sometimes they would never leave the house at all. They haven't gone into the tree line since they've been there.
Wow.
They just know something's in there and stay away from it.
That's a pretty thick tree branch there.
Yeah.
That looks,
it's about 6 inches in diameter at the 8 foot mark, and it snapped off.
There you go. If that wouldn't scare you.
Yeah. She said that there are deer, hogs, horses, and cows in the area, and they do have bear, but all the bears have neck collars on them because they track them all in the area. And she says what she saw was no bear. It didn't have a collar on it. And so she looked on the internet. Picture 4 is after scouring the internet, looking at over 150 pictures of Bigfoot, she finally found one that came close to what she saw that day. This one has the same body type and the color of what she was looking at.
Wow.
Although she says the face was much more flat than what this picture shows.
Yeah, I was just going to say the face don't match what I saw either, but the body is close. The one I saw had narrower hips and a bigger chest and shoulders. and the only skin was around its eyes, but everything else.
So it looks like they moved into his house.
Man, what a bummer, huh? How do you kick him out?
You don't.
Like throw tri-tip.
You don't.
Here, Bigfoot, and throw the tri-tip out in the yard.
Now you just have to learn to live with it.
Yeah.
Or them, actually.
It would be worse than Harry and the Hendersons.
This next story is from the Bigfoot Art Gallery page, Facebook page. And the drawings are by Rob Roy Menzies. And he's a forensic artist. So he listens to people's stories, and then he does the drawings on them. And on the Facebook page, you can see plenty of drawings that he's done for different people that have had sightings.
What's his name again?
Rob Roy Menzies.
Okay.
His pictures, his signature's on the actual pictures, too, at the bottom. This one is pretty interesting, but it's from the 1970s. But his drawings were pretty interesting, so I throw it in there. And this was actually from John Green in his book Sasquatch, the Apes Among Us. And this happened in Bonneville, Washington. And this was Louise Baxter of Scamina, Washington. And she was driving down the Lewis and Clark Highway that runs along the river there around 10 p.m. And she heard a noise, and she thought she had a flat tire. So she had to pull over off the road there. And she checked all her tires, and they were fine. So she looked into her car, see if maybe she ran over something, was dragging something, and there was nothing there. So then she had this feeling of being watched. And so she looked up, and that's picture number one. And she saw something, she says, that was about 10 to 12 feet tall, staring at her from in between the trees, just off in the woods. And she said it was an enormous, shaggy creature just staring at her, and it was coconut brown and really dirty looking. And then picture two shows it had one of its huge fists partially open to its mouth. And in this picture, it shows kind of like he's chewing on a stick or something. And she said she could see large, square teeth. Its head was large, but it sat directly onto its shoulders, so it had no neck. And it had long hair, and it was covering its ears, so she couldn't see any ears or anything. But 10 p.m. at night, I wouldn't expect her to be able to see ears.
Right.
So the jutted chin, wide nose, big nostrils, receding forehead, and less hair on its face. And picture three shows a close-up of it. She said the eyes were pretty remarkable. The eyes were what she remembered the most, because they were amber, and they seemed to glow like animals when light hits them.
Right.
And they had the eye shine. So there was no light around, but she said that she could see the eyes glowing.
Wow. Now, why did she pull over on the side of the road? Did she have car problems?
She thought she had a flat tire.
Ah, okay.
She thought, and then she could hear some noise, so she thought she had a flat tire. She checked all her tires and thought maybe she was dragging something, so she looked under the car. And when she stood up, that's when she saw this thing standing in the forest.
Of all the places to pull over, she pulled over right near a Bigfoot.
Yep.
I've
heard that before, too. Somebody on Highway 101 in the Oregon-California border, they pulled over, and as soon as they did, they heard something screaming at them.
Well, Adrian, this happened to Adrian. They were
on 101 too.
On the Bigfoot Highway, or whatever that highway is. They were driving. They decided to pull over and have lunch, and they right there on the side of the road, and that's when they heard some stuff in the woods, and he went in there and saw a bunch of them running. It's like
I think there were three of them. I think he said 3 or 4.
And one of them had a baby on her or him or whichever. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Maybe they're telling them where to stop.
I was just thinking about that, dude. I was thinking about that.
We've
hearing a lot about the alien connection.
Yeah.
Maybe they're alien.
Well, we were talking about that just the other day.
Les Stroud, right?
Yeah, the Les Stroud thing, where me and Jeff knew there was a Bigfoot out there, but only chalked it up to there wasn't a Bigfoot out there, and just stayed in where we were. Even though for some reason I knew it was there, but only for some reason I didn't want to get up.
Same here.
I talked myself out of it or something.
The motion detectors, they go off.
Yeah.
And we know that there's no way it could be Christina out where we put these motion detectors. But I was telling myself, oh, it's just Christina. And I could not get out of bed to get out and to go look.
Neither could I.
And then somebody emailed us or texted us about, hey, Les Stroud was talking about he was asleep and he heard something and he just couldn't get out of bed to go check it.
And he knew it was Bigfoot. I went and checked that, and I found that he knew there was a Bigfoot out there, but only it talked him into staying in the tent and saying it was nothing. But then when he got up, there was evidence of the Bigfoot out there, tracks and everything. Just the same as what happened to us. And then we go out there and there's a key in the bed, back of the truck.
Right.
And,
that wasn't there the night before. In the middle of nowhere.
The key to the spaceship.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I said master lock on there. Not unless they have master lock keys on their spaceships.
Maybe.
Never know.
Could happen.
So what is that Bigfoot chewing on? Its tongue?
I don't know. It didn't say, but it's probably a stick or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
With a toothpick.
Looks like maybe somebody's leg or something.
Could be. Chicken wing or something.
Stink. No bass response at all. The bass response stinks. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe it's my hearing.
You want me to dig up a different headphones set for you?
No.
You might get a different sound.
It's over there. I'll get it in a bit. All right. Next one.
All right, the last one is the Texas Bigfoot Research Center Facebook page, and this is the original, the Texas Bigfoot Conference of 2015, and they've been going since 2001. They did take a 6-year break, but they were back the last couple of years, and this takes place in Jefferson, Texas, near the Louisiana border, and it's October 9th and 10th, which is next weekend, Friday and Saturday.
Oh, man.
Yep, it's 7 to 9 if you're in the area, 7 to 9 on Friday and 10 to 10 on Saturday. It's hosted by Craig Wool here and Monica Rollins. And,
so you just barely missed
the original
it.
Conference, the big one.
You just missed it, huh? By what? 2
he was
weeks?
there, was he?
Danny could have been there. He was just there.
I was just there. Yep.
You just barely missed it.
Darn it.
Yeah.
I miss everything.
That's what you get. That's what you get when you go on vacation.
Yeah, I guess. Darn it.
Stop it.
There'll be, presentations. There's a meet and greet dinner on Friday night. They have raffles. They have T-shirts. And one of the gifts is going to be a garden Yeti. They're going to give one of those away. And Craig Wool here has a Bigfoot mask that he's going to be giving away in the raffle. They're going to have, you can get your face painted and look like Bigfoot. Coloring contest, a Bigfoot calling contest, a Bigfoot puppet show, and they're also going to have about 5 or 6 speakers. And one is Ken Gerhardt, and John Kirk III, Chester Moore is going to be there, Lyle Blackburn, and then also Nick Redfern, your favorite. And then if you want to have more information, it's Eventbrite, EVENTBRITE.com. It has the whole list of events and all the times and schedule. General admission, $20 if you order now, and $25 at the door. Children under 12 is $10 or $15 at the door. You can get a VIP ticket for dinner for Friday and Saturday night for $80, and vendor tables are also available. So for $75 or $100 on the day of the event, pretty cool. I got to get to some of these one of these days.
Yep, one of these days, maybe we'll get invited. Who knows? Who knows?
I could wear my jacket with all my patches on it.
What a geek. I could see you doing that, geek.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I know you would.
I'm crazy.
You know what? We better come up with a Paranormal Central badge.
Yeah.
Not badge, but a
Got to
patch.
contact him.
Yeah, we need different ones. We need like a Sasquatch one and a UFO one and a ghost
Dog Hill
one.
cartooning.
Yeah.
You know, he hit his goal in 6 hours on October 1st.
Lucky him.
Yep. And he's still going. He's got till the 31st. But the higher he goes, the more stuff that you get if you donated, because it unlocks different levels of the different money that you get. So even though you ordered something, you're going to get more than that because of all the money that's being donated right now.
Wow.
What do they do?
Cool.
What are they doing with all that money? Is it just to make patches?
Because those patches are really expensive to make.
Yeah.
And he probably wants to quit his job too and do this full
Anything
time.
embroidered is expensive. And every design is like 150 or 250 just for the artwork setup for the embroiderer thing.
I got them. They're pretty high quality too. I mean, it's all
Really?
Yeah,
embroidered on
I was looking at them, and they're like really cool looking. I mean,
Yep.
very
Has a
colorful.
lot of
And,
texture to it. You can feel them. It's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
wow.
I want some on my vest.
There you go. All right. Next one.
All right. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yep.
All
You
right.
know, play with my toys now.
What toys? Those. Oh, that's right. So, who purchased those for you?
I bought them.
Oh, you bought them. You went to Toys R Us?
No, I just ordered online. Got them like within a day.
Wow.
I was surprised at how fast it came.
How much were they?
I think they're $17.95 through Toys R Us.
That's
or if
cheap.
you go to Amazon, it's like $22.
Okay. All right. And tell everybody what you're talking about.
Yeah, Animal Planet released some Bigfoot toys. It's a Bigfoot or Yeti, and it's kind of like a play set for kids, but I collect all this stuff, so
Yep.
I got them both. And it comes with you can make your own footprints. Has one that has impressions that you can pop on the ground, make it look like a Bigfoot was around.
No way.
Yeah,
That is so cool.
yeah. It has action figures with it, and a Bigfoot in one, and a Yeti in the other, with the ice cave.
It was like the action figure like Bobo.
Yeah, it's not Bobo. It should be Bobo, but it's not.
They would have to get his permission for his likeness and all that kind of stuff. Well, if
You
it's
make too much money.
if it's Animal Planet, I don't think they own his. Well, not unless he signed it over to him, his rights to him.
I don't
It
know.
didn't have a missing tooth on it.
And then everything has to say "gone squatching" with him.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
There's
that's his.
something in the
stuff.
hills.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's the other guy. That's Matt, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, the money maker.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, dude. Thank you very much. And go ahead and go with your family. And dude, I watched the Raider game. They should have won that.
Oh, they played horribly.
They should have won that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was bad. So
That's
okay.
close.
Yeah, it was.
They played bad and still almost won.
Yeah, true. All right, man. Thank you, dude.
All right. Okay.
And I don't know. Are you going to be here next week?
I don't know. Still too early.
All right.
I'll be in the air.
Will you? Okay. If not, no big deal.
Oh, I should be. I'm leaving on Friday, so I should be in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
if you don't want to, that's okay. Just let me know.
You're just going to be
All right.
in somebody else's basement, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
somebody else's basement.
Right on. Okay, Danny. Thanks
All
a lot,
right, Danny.
man.
All right.
Okay, see ya.
Later, man.
Bye. All right, that was Mr. Danny Valderrama, Mr. Bigfoot freak geek. I mean, he collects everything Bigfoot, and cool guy, nice family, and they're really good friends now with us. And he enjoys the heck out of Bigfoot. That guy lives, sleeps, and Bigfoot. I tell you that right now.
He goes everywhere there was Bigfoot reports. I mean, he's been to where the first Bigfoot film was made. I mean, he's been all over.
Yeah.
Anywhere where there was a Bigfoot report, Danny was there. And he even writes it. You can walk along and say, "Oh, look, Danny was there."
So, all right, let's go ahead and get into it. Last week we had internet problems galore, and I want to say it was because the blood red moon. It was happening during our show, and NASA was carrying it, and there was a live stream. The network that we broadcast our show was running it. Everybody was running it. So you literally had millions and millions and millions of people on the internet looking at this blood red moon. And when that happens,
Or broadcasting it.
right, and if that happens, then there's it's gonna knock people off the air, and shows like us got hit. And that's why a lot of you guys couldn't see it. Now remember, everything is archived. So if you guys don't get to see it, one Sunday and you missed it, well, go back and watch it. You can do it two ways, on live stream, or you can go to our Paranormal Central channel on YouTube. Simple as that.
And or a digital dark matter network. You can listen to it like a podcast. So I mean, we have like three.
I don't know if he has them on there anymore though.
Oh, did he stop?
Yeah, I think he did.
Oh,
right. So, we have somebody calling in right now, but this looks like it's over. Look at the C's because it's +3168646. So we're not gonna answer any phone calls right now. What we want to do is we want to go in and show you the windows and start this part of the show because there's a lot of information that we want to show you guys. So hold on.
Yeah, well, the blood moon thing, it doesn't help us with what happened tonight.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, man. I mean, right now, all of the sound is off.
Yeah.
The bass response, right there, it sounds good. But something blew this out, and which doesn't make any sense because I turned the breakers off and the power is now turned off to the actual studio. So I can't see how we blew something, not unless the 1/4-inch cord is history. No, well, because we haven't. I'll have to try it.
Yeah, but we had to readjust everything.
Everything, all the volumes and the bass and the treble and the EQ is just totally off, and it's still off right now.
Yeah, a little bit.
It is totally off. Yeah. So all right, let's go ahead and continue on with the.
Keith says we're doing okay though so far.
Okay, good. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the story of the windows. All right. To this day, there are people in the Bigfoot business industry that still don't understand or don't know the whole story on these windows. They don't. They only want to hear what they want to hear. They might have just gotten their information from somebody they know who doesn't have the full information and just told them bits and pieces, and they said, okay, then yeah, well, got it. It's not real. It's a bear or whatever. They don't get it. All right. And I'm going to try to present it to all of you tonight so then you will get it and you will understand what we have. You will understand that if you know us, if you know Alan, if you know David Ragosa, Danny Baldrama, Dresden, Joe Walls, and myself, and Mickey Burrow, you are going to finally realize that this is the most, this is the word, awesomest, piece of evidence than you can get for a Bigfoot. I don't know how much more we can.
Yeah, what's weird is when we went up there. We call it the spot, okay, and like that was my first time to the spot. I have other places that I go for Bigfoot, and I mean just as prolific. We haven't been to those since we've been doing the spot ever since the windows.
Got it, Keith. I'm backing off.
Except for we've been at the Thule Res a few times too, and that one is looking really well, and we're coming back with stuff on that. But we went there specifically because on Memorial Day, it's the first part of the year when they open the gates. So the gates have been closed off to people all winter. And the Bigfoots come in, the berries are, growing. Everything's like all lush, and there's a lot of food and everything in there, deer and game. And so the Bigfoots go into this valley. It's like it's almost like the land of the lost kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't go there. And the roads are terrible, right?
When it's raining.
Yeah, even when it's not raining.
You know what? They
fixed it
lately. Right.
But before that, man, they had these
my God.
big old, huge car-sized holes that you got to go through, and there's probably 10 of them, and that's where you would get stuck in the rain. They would fill up with water. But the whole time we were there, I mean, we were only there like overnight. We brought enough food for 4 days. We barbecued tri-tip, and we had fried chicken that night.
Let me tell you something. When we go camping, and Alan could verify this, we take, we're freaking Mexicans on this end. All right, so we're gonna take tortillas, some avocado, some prime rib. I mean, we're taking everything. All right, and everybody brings an ice chest full of stuff.
And we did. We had like 4 ice chests full of food and, I mean, pastries and all kinds of stuff. So we had like stuff for breakfast and lunches and everything. Well, we only stayed that night. And then it started raining and then we were more worried about getting stuck in there. And then the next morning, we decided to wait until the morning to try to get out because trying to get out in the night would have been ridiculous, slipping around because you could barely walk. I mean, it's so slippery that even walking is hard.
Right, it is.
And then after we get up, we start packing up. Something happened, and I won't say what it is, but only it made it where we had to start getting out like right now.
Well, why don't we go ahead and you want to talk about it?
And we could. I mean, it's up to you if you want.
Yeah,
to.
I mean,
we haven't really addressed that any.
The motions, you mean?
Yeah, we haven't really talked about that.
All right, Let's go ahead and.
I'm gonna give you guys a scoop tonight. Nobody's heard this story. It's inside.
Right. Okay. All of you guys, have you guys been watching this for a while? I'm the tech guy. I have a lot of cool stuff that I don't invent this stuff. I go out and purchase what I think would work best for investigating Bigfoot. And what I got is I got some motion detectors that are wireless 9-volt battery. I got 4 of them that we placed around the campsite. And I have the receiver-based unit inside the tent with us. And if something moves in front of these motions, like a security motion detector type of deal, it sends the signal back to my base, and that goes ding, 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 right? Well, that morning, right around 5:30, it had been raining all night. The wind picked up. It started to snow, yet my motion detectors did not go off. They're weatherproof. But at 5:30, the north and south one went off right together at the same time.
And now, the north and south, that means the tent is here, and that's north and that's south. We were between them. So that meant that something was moving on each side of the tent.
Correct. And whatever it was, there was 2 of them because the north and the south one motion went off together at the same time.
Right.
Now, again, that should have alarmed me to get out of bed, to put my pants on, to put my shoes on, and to run out there because I knew it'd been raining all night, it's been snowing, it's windy as heck out there, that my motions did not go off with all of that going on. But now everything has come to a stop. It stopped raining. It stopped, it wasn't snowing. The wind cut down. And then all of a sudden, the north and south one go off the same time. I did not get out of bed. Yet I knew all of the facts leading to. Wait a minute, the north and south one just went off together. All right, everybody was still in the sleeping bag, soaked, wet. David Ragosa decides to get up. He puts on his pants, but
he bailed out too.
Yeah, he really
quick. He was in a hurry.
And he puts on his belt with his 44. I think he had 40. What kind? Remember?
44 Magnum.
44, and he goes outside, and we're still inside the tent, and then all of a sudden, I mean, gunshots right near the tent. I mean, probably 5 feet from the
He
tent.
emptied it.
He emptied his 44 Magnum. And for all those who know what a 44 Magnum sounds like, he was literally 5 feet from us, and he unloaded it. Pow, 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 pow. Right? And I'm going, since I have been going on camping trips with David, I have never seen him unload his weapon at all. We might have taken a couple of shots before we headed down. We stopped at a tree, and he might have, fired it just for target practice. But he has never unloaded it before.
Well, he was all about safety.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's a principal of a school, so he's all about safety. He didn't,
Right.
And that was totally out of
Character.
Character, yeah.
Correct. So after he offloaded it, we looked at each other with amazement and
Like
confusion.
What the heck?
Like, what did he just do, and why did he just do that? And then all of a sudden, he peeked his head inside the door of the tent. And he said, "You guys, we got to go now. We got to go now. Let's go. Everybody out.
Right
We got to
now.
go now." And we're looking at David, and we're going, "Is it maybe because it's starting to snow, and he was afraid we were going to get stuck out there?" That was in everybody's mind, anyways.
Right.
We were thinking that already, but we didn't put 1-1 together to get 2. I mean, we did not think he was shooting at a Bigfoot, maybe, or trying to scare something off.
No, we didn't think of that.
I
Not
know,
at that
not
point.
at that point, okay?
Not at that point.
To this day, we really haven't confronted David on why he offloaded his weapon. And we haven't. Now, so we got out, and outside it's so muddy. It's just miserable. We're wet. We're cold. David says, "You know what? Let's just start packing. Let's get out of here now before it starts snowing, and then we're never going to be able to get out because the roads are so messed up that back then they were not taken care of by the Department of Forestry. They just let these roads go. And people that used to go out there 4-bying, they dug in deep holes that were literally 4 feet deep. All right? That's seriously. I'm not jiving you guys. That's how bad it was. All right. Now, we had 3 trucks out there at the time. Actually, 2 trucks and his Jeep Cherokee. At the point in time, my pickup was only a Ford F-150 4-door. It was not 4-by. I did not have a 4-by back then. All right, 4x4. David Dragos' Jeep was a 4x4, and then John Wall's truck was a 4x4 as well. So we started to pack up, and we were not being very careful. We were just, picking things up and throwing them in the back of the truck. We were not folding things. We were just throwing crap in there. We didn't care. We were not.
And David was on us to even hurry faster.
Right.
Faster. Like.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was out of character again on how he was acting when we were packing up.
Right. We just threw everything in the trucks. My truck in the back, it was just piled up like I had just picked up a bunch of trash from the backyard of my house and just threw everything, and I was going to go to the dump. I did not organize. Everything was just piled on there. All right. Everything, all of our camping equipment, everything was in our vehicles. I went into my truck. I started the ignition. It turned right over, and I wanted to move it. I put it in drive and reversed, and my tires were just bzzz, bzzz. They did not have traction. I was not moving an inch, you guys. And then David was looking. Everybody was looking at me, and my tires were spinning. They were not going anywhere. And then finally, David comes over and says, "Dude, you're gonna have to leave your truck here." And I said, "What?" He said, "You're not going anyplace. Your tires aren't even moving an inch. You don't have traction." And I said, "No way. I'm going home tonight." I got in there. Bzzz, I was digging myself in a hole. And he says, "Dude, stop." David told me, "Stop. You're not going home. You're not taking your truck home tonight. You have to leave it."
In fact, we had to leave David's car too.
Well, David went to go start. He turned his key.
Nothing.
And we're all, oh crap. David must have hit something loose on his way in, and he didn't have anything. We tried jump starting it. It was
his computer.
Yeah.
Later on, we found out his computer went out.
Okay. So now we're down to one vehicle, a pickup truck, a four-door.
Thank God.
All right. And John, Joe Walls turned his on, and he was able to move it because he put it in 4x4, and he was able to, maneuver it, and said, okay. So David and we all said, all right, you guys grab whatever whatever's most important for you, and let's all jump into to Joe's truck, and let's get the hell out of here. So I had all of my electronics. I put them inside my four-door F-150 in the back of my truck.
He had like a four-door pickup truck.
Right.
So there was a full back seat, and that was all crammed full of electronics.
Electronics, our sleeping bag, pillows, everything like that I didn't want to get wet or possibly stolen. Even we're in the middle of nowhere, you guys. It's, 5,000 feet. We're not at a campsite. We're in the middle of freaking nowhere. Nobody goes where we go, and they very seldom do. Maybe once in a while, if you are on ATVs or dirt bike driving around, but that's not in the winter. Okay, I was freaking out. It was a Sunday morning. The next day I had to go to work. I can't go to work. My truck is going to be up here in the mountains. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to call my supervisor and say, dude, I can't. I have to get my truck, So we all pile into Joe Wall's truck, and he starts to drive out of there. When there is no rain or no snow and just completely dry dirt, it'll take us from the minute that we get to the point of entry and the gates above, it'll take us maybe 15, 20 minutes to get there. That day, getting out, it took us almost 2 hours.
Right.
Why? Because the roads were so slushy, miserable, muddy, filling up with water, that a couple of times we got stuck, and we all had to get out and look for tree limbs and broken trees and throw them underneath his tires.
And we were all pushing and everything,
and
trying to get it out.
We were getting dirty, miserable, raining. It was so bad. All right, and like I said, it took us 2 hours to get out of there. We finally made it out of there, out of the mountain itself, just up there. Then it took us another 2 hours to get home. And then, as we're driving down, I think to myself, oh, son of a... I forgot my laptop computer in my truck. And I started to freak out in back of Joe's truck. I said, oh, shoot, I left my laptop up there. And at that time, you guys, my life was in that laptop. All my, it was my bank account, everything was in this laptop computer, and I was freaking out, dude. I'm like, oh no, and there's nothing I could do at that point. We can't go back because we would never be able to make it back in to our campsite. So we continued on driving down, and we're all squished in his four-door, and 3 in the back. Dresden was in the middle. In between, I don't know, it must have been maybe Danny up on top. I don't remember who it was. And it was bad. My knees were I was so squished. By the time I got home, I was hurting because we were squished. And we made it home. Right now, David's Jeep and my truck are 2 hours away from our house, 5,000 feet elevation in the middle of nowhere, and they're just sitting there right now.
In the land of the lost. That's what I like calling, because that's what it is, man. It's like going in different, like a dinosaur country,
right?
Yeah.
And so, I get home, I tell Cheryl what happened, and she's all, whoa, well, excuse me. So at that point, right now, on my mind is my laptop computer. That is, anything else I can give a crap. Right now, my worries were my laptop computer. So that night, I think I called Alan.
Yeah.
And I said, Alan, dude, I left my computer up there. And he goes, whoa. And I said, I need to go get it. Can you drive me up there? and I guess I'm going to have to walk down to get it, but I don't want to walk in there by myself. Can you find somebody to walk in with me? And he says, well, let me call my brother Jimmy. So, he calls. I hang up. He calls, and he says, yeah, Jimmy will walk down there and get your laptop and walk back out.
See, I would have walked with them, but I can't walk that far
No,
down
you
in
can't.
there.
You can't.
Especially the way the road was. I
Right.
could not walk that far. In fact, I have a hard time, even when it's dry and good, walking that far. I don't go that far.
Right. So, was it the following day, or was it on Wednesday?
It was like Tuesday.
It was Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
That's-
that following day. Because
You went to work Monday, okay?
Did I?
Sunday, was it like a 3-day weekend? But we went in Tuesday.
Okay. Now Monday,
And then, okay, so Monday you and Jimmy went, we went and walked down in there.
right?
And then came back out, and you had your laptop.
Okay. And that was Monday or Tuesday.
I always thought it was Tuesday, but
Then what did I do on a Monday? Freak out and stay home?
you might have been.
Because I didn't have a way to go to work. So
I
took
think
the
it
day
was
off.
Wednesday. We all made a plan to go back with David.
Then you know what? Then it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday then, because that makes sense. Monday, I was at home freaking out, and I
Right.
was calling people, and we finally decided that, you know what, let's go Tuesday. I don't remember what I did on Monday. I don't know if I went to work or I called my boss to say, can I take the day off? I just don't remember. But so Tuesday, you guys come to pick me up, and you were driving your van. Jimmy was in there. I jumped in, and we go up there, and Alan parked at the top
And
before
it's
the
like
entrance.
2.5 miles
Yeah,
down
Down.
hill into this valley, into the valley of the lost, and then 2.5 miles back up,
right,
uphill. So it's not a little bitty hike.
No, not at all. So we park at the top. Alan just kicks it in his van, and Jimmy comes with me. I grab my video camera, and I had my iPhone, and I give Jimmy my 12 gauge shotgun. Right. Then we start to proceed. Jimmy had no clue how far this place was because he's never been there with us.
Right.
He had no idea.
He lucked out.
So yeah, it's
He
like
wouldn't even be in this story, but only he lucked out and got to go walking down
Right.
there.
So we start to walk down, and we're talking, and we're listening, and we're looking around and see if maybe Bigfoot or Sasquatches are looking at us or trying to follow us, and we got nothing. Right, we're walking down, and we make the final turn to start walking in. Maybe now we're about 100 yards in, and then I noticed something in the road. Now, mind you guys, 2 days ago when we left, and we know how the road was when we left. There was mud, water. It was there's no vehicles that would be able to pass. Even if you had a 4x4, there's no way, right? So now, it's beautiful. It's cloudy sky. It's a little warm. And we're walking down, and we're about 100 yards before we get to that site where we left our vehicles, the spot that we call it. And I see something in the road. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to show you what was our first obstacle that we found.
But see that wasn't there the first day you walked down there.
No.
Right. There was nothing
No,
there.
no. This is when we walked down there.
Oh, that was there when
Yeah.
you and Jimmy walked in there?
Yeah. This is Jimmy was with me when I took these photographs.
Okay, I thought this was the second day when we went back.
No, this was Tuesday.
Wow.
No, this is Tuesday, and we find this here, guys. All right. Then I'm looking at this, and I go to Jimmy. Jimmy, this was not here on Sunday when we left.
Right.
And he goes, "What do you mean?" I go, we didn't put this here. This was not here."
And why would anybody put that there anyway?
But nobody can drive back there right now.
Right.
Right? Because
way.
the roads, their mud puddles are 4 or 5 feet in depth. There's no way. There's nobody could drive, and then nobody would want to come back there right after a storm that we just got on Sunday. I mean, the place was deserted. There was no cars. There was nobody up there. Yet I find this, and I'm going, what the hell?
And really, the only tracks the next day when I walked in there, I rode and walked, but only the tracks were the tracks of us coming out. That was the only track.
That was the only track. I looked around for any footprints. I'm going to myself, how did this get here? Who put this here?
Mm-hmm. It looked freshly drugged there, too.
Yes, and you can tell it's dried. It has been broken and on the side for years and years and years, but something dragged it and placed it across the road right there. So I took a photograph of that, you guys. I'm going, whoa, what a trip. So we proceeded on, right? Jimmy has the shotgun. I have my video camera. And then we run into this. Now, as you can see in the background, I don't know if you can see it in the background. There's the other tree limb that's right there. Do you see I'm circling it right there? Now this is here. And you can see where something, and I'm going to say something because I don't think a person dragged this. Well, it was something dragged it. And you see right there, the drag marks? They dragged it and placed it in the dirt road right there. And I'm going, Jimmy, this wasn't here on Sunday when we left. And he goes, were you sure? I'm like, dude, really? You think? Why would we put these things here? We wanted to get out of there fast. So I took a couple of photographs of this thing, of these two branches, pieces of wood. We proceeded again. Now we're about 75 yards, and we run into something else. Then we run into this. Now, there's Jimmy. There's Alan's brother right there. Okay? Now, let's just step back for a minute. And let's look at this piece of wood that has been placed across the dirt road. All right. Now, do you think a human being, an adult human being, what would be the purpose of placing this piece of wood across the road right there? Okay. What if anybody has a good guess? Then go for it. Guess right now. What would be the purpose of somebody doing that? You know, if somebody was driving in here, that would not deter anybody from driving in. They would get out, pick it up with one hand, and throw it off to the side and get in. What would be the purpose of a human being doing this?
So far, the last three ones you showed, you could get your kid to get out and throw it out on the road. I mean, there weren't nothing to it.
Right.
You know?
It's not like...
It's not a deterrent.
Yes, exactly. It's not like this was not going to prevent us from coming in.
Nope. It was just like making us scratch our head like, what in the world is that there for?
Okay.
Or who did that?
Right. All right. So, again, I took a photograph of this, and I said, Jimmy, this was not here on Sunday when we left. And Jimmy now is scratching his head, and he's going, Jeff, you're smoking. You know, this has to have been you guys did place this there, because at this time, Jimmy has no clue. So we proceeded on. We're about now 50 yards from where our truck's at, and then we run into this.
Now that's a whole different animal now.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay. Now, what we are looking at is, and I took measurements. This is about 12 feet in length, and the circumference, I think, was like 14 inches in the circumference of this tree log here. Now, as you can see, it has been cut with a chainsaw. This was back in the, and actually, you see right back here, I'm going to circle it. Back in the days, and we're talking years and years and years ago, this tree fell across the dirt road, and the Department of Forestry came by and cut it and threw it on the side of the road right here. Now, do you see I'm circling this with the mouse? This is where this log was sitting for years and years and years before that day.
And it was like, that's like a low point.
Correct.
Where the log is sitting right now is the high point in the road, where you know, like what do they call it, the high...
Yeah, you're very correct.
And it wasn't rolled up there. There's little bitty branches on it. And if you roll it, well, like we rolled it or tried to roll it, we tried to roll it off of that, and it wouldn't roll because these little branches are on there, right?
Now, you can't see it, but what Alan is saying is there are broken little tree branches all around this long log. Now this thing
you can't
weighs,
roll it. When you do, it tears up the road. But anyways, the road is got no tracks. It's got no drag mark. It has no roll mark. It has no marks.
No mark, guys.
It just the mark where the log was, and now the log's sitting in the high center part of the road.
And I took
long ways.
And at that point, I have a video of this that I shot on my iPhone, and I'm talking on the video as I'm making the video, and Jimmy goes, "Here's where it was," and he pointed down here, and he spotted this, and I'm going, "Dude, you're right. This is where it was laying prior from it being moved from there to there," and I'm going, that thing is heavy. That thing must weigh over 1,000 pounds.
Easy. Yeah, easy.
Right? I even got on my knees at that time, and I tried to push it, and Jimmy starts to laugh at me. He goes, "Dude, you're not going to be able to move that." And he's right. I couldn't even budge it. And I was looking around and I'm thinking, why would
those little branches were keeping you from even rolling?
Oh, I couldn't even budge it, dude.
Yeah.
The branches wouldn't even do anything because I couldn't even move it. And I'm going to myself, why would somebody move it from there and put it in the middle of the road? It's like,
and who's strong enough to
do it? And I'm going, okay, seriously, I was trying to debunk this. I thought to myself, did the Rangers come in, the Department of Forestry come in on horseback, and did they see our trucks and said, "Oh, you know what? These guys had to leave their trucks here. Let's place these things in the road so nobody can drive in and steal what they have in the back of their trucks." That's what I was thinking. But I couldn't see any marks where they dragged this piece of wood or log or whatever you want to call it. No tire marks, no footprints of any kind.
No horse tracks.
No
ATV.
No.
Nothing.
So it's like I took a video of this and I took a couple of photographs, and this blew me away.
I remember now when you guys got back to the car, you were showing me that, and I'm like, "What in the world?" You know,
I showed it to you. Right?
I couldn't wait until the next day to go and actually, because I track, right? I'm a tracker. I had them drop me because actually, you know, it was like almost to the truck where these blockades were, if you want to call them that.
Right.
And I tracked back and forth on each side, trying to find how did that, you know, happen? Even the little ones, the ones that, you know, look like a 5-year-old, put them in the road. I wanted to know, you know.
Somebody with the mentality of a very youngster,
right,
put those other ones there.
But I know, like, when we got to the big one, it took 5 guys to push it out of the road and back into where it was, and it tore the road up. I mean, all them little branches was tearing the road up, and that's Gib, by the way.
Right, Gib, we're not going to answer the phone right now, dude. So
he's like, answer the phone.
No, we're busy. So all right, okay. So
sorry, Gib.
So you know, Jimmy,
we love you, brother.
Jimmy and I arrive at where the trucks are at, and I'm looking around, and everything looks normal. You know, my vehicle and David Ragos's Jeep are spotless because
there was nothing on your truck though, right?
No
images.
My truck was completely clean because it was raining. You know, when we arrived that Friday night, there was mud all over my car because, you know, the tires were spinning to get there, and our vehicles were filthy. But during the Sunday storm and probably Monday as well, the water nicely washed both vehicles. And I'm looking around, I'm going, you know, I don't see anything moved. All of my ice chest. Now, in the back of my truck, you guys, I had 4 ice chests. And in those ice chests was leftover food that we did not eat, which were, man, we had hot dogs, we had
lunch meat, fried chicken.
We had we
tri-tip.
had a picnic basket that Yogi Bear would have loved to snatch and rip off and take to eat. I mean, we had so much food back there, it was crazy. Nothing was touched. I opened the back door and I grabbed my laptop and I hugged it and I kissed it because I'm going, oh my God. And then I looked in the back of my truck and I grabbed a couple of waters out of the ice chest that were still cold. I gave one to Jimmy, one to myself. We took a couple of drinks. We walked around. There was no footprints, nothing. We started to walk up. And man, what a trek that was. Because now we were walking uphill, and oh my God, Jimmy almost died.
Right. Yeah.
Jimmy almost died on me, because Jimmy does not walk like that in that far of a distance, and to me it was hard. So we arrived at the up there on the top of the hill where Alan was waiting for us, and I told Alan, dude, this is what we ran into, and I took photographs on my iPhone and I showed it to him, and Alan is tripping out.
Yeah. I wanted to go down, but I knew I couldn't. Right then.
And I don't know at that point in time that you said, dude, this is what Bigfoot does if they don't want you in your area, because you knew.
I did say it.
That's
why I wanted to go down there so bad.
Yeah, and I think you told me, you go, you know what, dude, this is what Bigfoot does when they don't want you in your area to keep you out. I'm going, no way, because I didn't know. All right, Alan was more of a Bigfoot guy at that time than I was. I'm being honest. I was mostly into UFOs and ghosts, not Bigfoot. That's one thing that it was.
This is totally what actually put you in Bigfoot mode.
Yes.
Like I seen a Bigfoot in 1987, been researching Bigfoot ever since, and tracking them and everything. I mean, absolutely everything. Jeff was doing paranormal, and it included Bigfoots with David and everything. But this really put Jeff on fast track. Bigfoot 101 crash course in Bigfoot everything.
Right. I was blown away, dude.
This brought DNA and all kinds of information that a lot of people have been looking for years. We got it all in one weekend. Right.
So we drive. Alan drives. We go. We have lunch. I buy lunch, and he takes me home. And I'm telling Cheryl what we found, and she's like, okay, yeah, right, whatever. To her, it's like, yeah, whatever. And then I get a call from David. He goes, dude, I got a mechanic. We're going back tomorrow, which is Wednesday. And I'm going, you want to go to get your truck? I'm going, oh my God, we just came back from there. And I go, yes, I want to go get my truck. What kind of question is that? So I call Alan, and Alan goes, let's go. And Jimmy goes, I want to go too, because he's got the bug. And Alan picks me up. We decide to meet up there right around 12 noon. And we arrive at the spot on the top of the hill before we entered the gates. The Department of Forestry, they placed gates.
And this time they brought four-wheel drive, so we were able to drive down in there.
Yeah, well, Joe met us up there too.
Yeah.
And
so we left all the two-wheel drives at the top and hopped all into the four-wheel drive, and down we went.
It was a 1-4. We went in Joe's truck. Right. So we got the mechanic. So I was actually in the back of the pickup. So
Me
it was
too.
in. Were you?
Yeah.
Okay, and Jimmy was too.
Because I wanted to get out everywhere where there was something, and get out and walk.
And I was telling David, actually, I think David now knows, but when he arrived, he already knew, because I called him and I told him, dude, this is what I found in the dirt road. And he didn't believe me. Anyways, we arrive at the spot, we get into one vehicle, and we start to proceed to drive in. And we run into that first barricade. And we get out, and Joe and David are totally tripping. And so are you. You're tripping.
I was.
And we're all going, I'm going, see, look. I was excited, all right? And so I think somebody grabbed it and just pulled it aside. It was so easy. It wasn't like it weighed 100 million pounds.
5-year-old could have moved it with ease.
The first one, okay?
Yeah.
Then we didn't really have to get into the car again, because the other barricade was only about 40 feet away.
Yeah.
And they all the guys were walking around looking for footprints, looking for evidence of another vehicle there, other people, nothing. It was only Jimmy and my footprints that were there from the day before when we walked in to get my computer. So we moved that second barricade off, and then we started to drive in, and we ran into that skinny stick. And everybody's tripping, because what would be the purpose of a human being placing that piece of 2x4 size stick in the middle of the road? That's not going to do absolutely nothing to anybody. They're going to look at that, and they're going to get out. They're going to pick it up with one hand. They're going to go, and they're going to chuck it. They go, what would be the mentality of somebody doing that? It just didn't make sense. Only maybe if you were a Bigfoot. All right? Then
or you have like a different mentality than we
yes,
do.
Yes,
right?
yes, exactly.
It had to not be a human, whatever it was.
Right.
Because it would know that didn't do nothing.
We were not thinking, we were still thinking human beings. We were not thinking what a Bigfoot was thinking at the time of doing that.
Right.
Okay, so we get in the vehicle, we drive, and then we run into that 12-foot, 14-foot log.
Telephone pole.
Telephone pole.
It looked like a telephone pole.
And everybody gets out, and they're going, holy smokes. And, Jimmy's pointing out, look, this is where it was, downhill, and now it's uphill. So I got on my knees. Three other guys got on our knees, and we started to push this thing off the side. Mind you, like Alan said before, there were still broken pieces of branches all around that thing. So when you rolled, it would stop.
It wouldn't roll.
It wouldn't roll. So you would have to literally roll and pick it up, sort of kind of, and move it again. It would get stuck. And
they tore the road up.
There you go.
They tore up the road.
With our knees and our boots,
Yeah.
we messed up the road where you can see it was, I was using leverage with my knees and my feet to push.
See, I wish we would have took pictures of that, and we didn't. That was something that was important that we didn't.
Right.
We didn't know was important until later.
Right.
Other words.
You're right. Exactly right. So we finally got out of the way, and I think you and a couple of other guys said, you know what, we're going to walk from here on.
That was me.
And I said, I am not going to walk because I just did the walk yesterday, and I'm freaking tired. So I got in the truck with Joe, and we started to drive, and everybody was still walking down. It was like maybe another 40 feet, 50 feet.
For me, like in my mind, whatever moved that had to be big and heavy. I mean, real heavy. And now the road right there was packed solid, so
Right.
it's not going to leave
Footprint.
a footprint.
Right.
But everywhere where it could have stepped on the road, so then that meant I went like 50 feet up each side of the road and was looking for where it got on the road. But I never found where it got on the road. I only found I found over by where the truck was parked. I found a place where it looked like something crawled on its belly away down the hill. Like maybe it was there when we were walking up, and it got down and it crawled on its belly down and got away from us and crawled away into the woods. And that's the only thing I found. But there was no handprints or footprints, or it was just
Nothing.
like it looked like a big giant slug, maybe this wide.
Right.
Went down the hill, and it was like kind of like tripping me out because I didn't know what it was.
Right. Okay, so we arrived at the spot. Everybody is still walking in. I was driving I was in the passenger side, and Joe, he was driving, and we park it, and I get out, and I'm looking around. Everything looks normal. I sort of kind of walk away from where our trucks are at. Then I turn around, facing on the driver's side of my truck, and that's when I saw it. I'm looking at my windows, and I'm going, what in the hell is that? And I'm getting closer, and I'm getting closer. And what I'm going to put right now on the screen for you, for all those who are on live stream, I'm going to put what I saw on the back window of my truck. And let me locate it for you guys here. Hold on. It took my breath away. What I was looking at, it was looking right back at me. All right? That was on the back window of my truck. Okay, I have a 4-door. That is the back window, driver's side. That was there, and I was looking at that, and I felt like somebody socked me in the stomach, and I said, and at that point in time, I yelled at Jimmy. I went, Jimmy, get over here right now. And he starts walking. I go, was this here yesterday? And he looked, and he goes, no. And I am freaking out because this is what I'm looking at, guys. This is an actual photograph that I took from my iPhone, and you can tell because look at the top. This is, if you guys have an iPhone, the bottom trash can, the delete. This is the back window. All right, and I'm freaking out, and then all of a sudden, Alan and all those guys start walking over, And they're looking at this and they're going, what the hell is this?
That's when I started looking in the back of the truck
Okay.
at the ice chest.
And-
And I'm like, because at first, somebody over there said, well, it was a bear, and what I saw was a gorilla. What I thought like a gorilla on the back. And then I thought, okay, if it was a bear, the ice chest would be gone, and then I looked in the back and the ice chests are sitting there pristine. Nothing touched them.
Right.
And I thought, okay, it wasn't a bear. Then that's when I really started trying to figure that out.
Right. Now, this photograph was taken sort of kind of an angle. It wasn't straight on. I'm like where the bed of the pickup is, about 5 feet away, 6 feet away. And that's, I took this with my iPhone. I took this picture, the back window. And then I didn't even notice was on the front window because this was my attention right here.
Yeah, mine too.
Everybody was
I didn't
looking.
even see the front window.
I'm going, what?
Yeah.
You got to be freaking kidding me. This is not happening to me right now. This is not I had no idea what I had in my possession on my truck, back window. All right. Oh, here goes. What's that?
She's coming in with the Windex.
No, get out of here. Get out. God, I can't believe you're doing that. Okay, you can stop being funny now. Seriously, you better
Here
not
comes
be
the
spraying.
Windex.
Oh my
She's
God.
going to take our little window away.
Okay. All right, so that was on the back window, you guys. Now, I'm going to show you what was on the front window of the driver's side. I'm going to put that up right now. I'm going to zoom in. Okay.
See, it took me a few minutes to see this one.
I didn't see it. I was too struck with everything right in the back window. This was on the front window. Let me make sure you guys are all looking at this right now. Yes, you are. All right. The arrows are pointing to different things. Let's talk about the middle object right here first of all, guys. This right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a picture that has that only. Here it is. All right. I did not know what this was at the time. It didn't compute to me because, again, I am not a Bigfoot person at that time. It just did not compute.
See, now, before we go any further, this picture right here, this is actually the one that convinced Mickey
Yes.
that it was a Bigfoot. Not the other picture. This one is the one that convinced Mickey that was a Bigfoot.
Now, what are we looking at, you guys? All right. Let's say a woman has lipstick on her lips. If you go to kiss a window or a mirror and pull back, see this bottom part right here? These are lips right here. The right side, and these are the left side. Then if you look at the top, then you go, okay, well, what is this on top here? This right here and this right here are nostrils. At first, I thought this right here was a tongue.
That's what I thought too. Something licked
Something licked
the
it.
window.
But
because you could see that drool or whatever going down the side, that was snot
that's not right there.
going down. Yeah.
Now,
Coming out of the nose.
So to
Snot.
make you guys understand what this is, I am going to place right now the face of what.
Yeah, he wouldn't be kissing me with them lips.
Let me find where is it at?
And the lips are huge, man.
Don't tell them. I want to first show them this photograph. Gosh dang it, Jeff, where is it? Hold on, you guys.
It was like, oh, you guys could see it, huh? All the photographs he's got.
Oh yeah, I'm putting them up. Oh, but I'm trying to locate that one. Come on, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. Really? Hold on. Oh, there it is, right here.
There it is. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
That's him.
Lips.
Mhm.
And then the nostrils were probably much fatter though, and that what we thought was
Wider.
whiter, correct. What we thought were the lips or the tongue was the upper lip
Yeah, the upper lip.
right there. So now let's go back to that thing again. Now, guess what the size of these lips are? And you can tell because there's the sticker of my truck. And I know what the size of the sticker is like because I'm going to show you something right now. These lips from end to end are 8 inches long. The nostril holes right here are 4 inches. So if you guys want right now,
Like 4 inches, right? Imagine your nose being 4 inches
apart.
wide.
Correct. So if you guys want to go get a
4
ruler
inches.
or a measuring tape, go and get it so you can measure 8 inches. That is just the lips on the window. So imagine if the lips were 8 inches, how big would the face or the head be?
It's huge.
I'm thinking maybe 18, 19, 20 inches. So you now know the concept and the size of whatever left the impression. Now you're probably going, well, why did it do that? Good question. Good question. The back window, and Alan thought of this, and it was, and then and I think he hit it right on the head. The back window is tinted glass on my truck.
Privacy glass.
Privacy glass. There you go. You can't have tinted windows on your front. Now, when Jimmy and I arrived on Tuesday to get my laptop, the back window where this photograph was right here, I opened that door to get my laptop, and then I closed it. All right? And I think I might have also opened up the front door as well to get something out in the middle of my truck or something. I don't remember what it was. So we were thinking that we were being watched when Jimmy and I were down there. We were being watched. And the Bigfoots, and I'm saying plural, Bigfoots, were watching us. And they were expecting us to get into our vehicles and drive off. But we didn't. They saw me open the door, grab something out, and grab a couple of water bottles and take off and leave our vehicles there. And they were probably going,
and leave the ice chest again,
Correct.
exposed in the back of the truck,
full of food. Okay, and so they're probably going, and you guys, we've had 4 years to think of all this, to figure out why all this happened. All right, and we're thinking this is the reason why the impressions were left. After we left the vehicles there, the Bigfoots were going, what the hell?
Yeah, let's go check it out. Man.
Why did he?
Let's go see what they did.
Yeah, why did he open up the back door to get something out? So a Bigfoot came up to the truck when we weren't there, and since it was privacy glass, you couldn't see inside. Being a Bigfoot, he had to put his face against the window to look inside. Now, for us humans, how do we, when we're looking into a window, how do we look into a window? We look like this.
If you're looking in privacy glass.
I'll put my hands in a round circle like this, right, to hit the glare out and to look in there. Well, a Bigfoot's not going to know how to do that.
Right.
They're gonna freaking go up to the glass and put all of his body and his face against the glass to look in. Now,
and that's what you see. You see half the face, the eye socket,
right,
where there's nothing, no smudge. That's the eye socket, and then you can see the cheek, the eyebrow, half the face. Then you see the chest going down. So where he had to put his whole side of his face and everything up against the glass and was looking in there. That's how he was looking through the privacy glass.
Exactly. And the front window on the driver's side was not privacy glass.
Right.
So the whatever looked in that window didn't really have to look too
Didn't
totally
have to press
his
itself up
face.
in there.
Right. He could just put his lips in there, look in there, and you don't see anything. Now, that's not all that was left on the windows and the door. What I'm going to show you now, let's go back to that photograph And Heidi, if you're listening, we'll get you as soon as we finish all this, okay? I'm going to zoom in on this. All right. So now we just showed you the lips and the nostrils. We're going to go over here now to the bottom left-hand corner where this arrow's at. These, ladies and gentlemen, are knuckles. You see that? I have another picture. I think I'm going to show you the full... Oh, not it. Oh, here it is. Okay. Now, it took me a while to figure this one out as well. What you see here, do you see this right here? These are fingernails right there. And this is another fingernail, and this is another fingernail, another fingernail. This up to this first point where it bends, if you look at your finger, everybody look at your fingernail right now and bend it in. This is just when it goes up to the first, I don't know, see, I don't know what you call it, but your first part of your knuckle, part of the finger, right above the nail. I measured it. This is 2 inches in length, guys.
It would be this part.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go ahead and put us on there.
It would be from like that, the bend and the nail.
Oh, you know what? I wasn't even showing you guys. I'm so sorry.
Woohoo.
All right, let's go back to that. All right.
Like the people were saying, is it a bear or a homeless person?
No.
Okay, now, if it was a bear, there's 4 ice chests in the back of the truck full of food.
Well, wait a minute. Wait. Don't even answer that right now as far as the bear goes. And I'm going to tell you why. Because we're going to show him proof that it wasn't a bear.
Oh, okay.
We're going to show him proof. Mickey did this.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay, we're going to show him. Now, and again, Alan just said, he's probably getting this off a chat. People are going,
Right.
oh, it was a homeless person or it was a bear. Well, we're going to prove to you right now that it wasn't a bear. For one thing,
bears never leave an empty
that's just
ice chest.
That
never.
But we're not. Yeah, we're not even going to go to the ice chest because we're going to show you evidence that it wasn't a bear.
But a homeless man that's hungry, they don't leave an ice chest either. So I mean,
well,
and $12,000 of electronics.
Okay, and I'll tell you guys right now, homeless person. Lee Spiegel of the Huffington Post did a story on us. You can go Google Huffington Post, the Impressions Window Sanger Paranormal Society, and a big article will come up. I talked to Lee Spiegel, and Lee Spiegel called up Lauren Coleman from the Crypto Museum. Is that right?
Yeah.
And he talked to Lauren Coleman about what we got. And Lauren Coleman said, oh, that's a homeless person. And Lee Spiegel starts laughing at him because Lee Spiegel told me. He goes, really? You think it was a homeless person? Oh, yeah, that was a homeless person. And Lee Spiegel realizes where we are at. A homeless person would not be up at 5,000 feet elevation in the snow, in the rain, in the sleet, because he would starve to death, for one thing. A homeless person would not walk way up in the middle of the wilderness and pitch a tent there. Okay?
Unless he was Les Stroud.
Okay, yeah. Now, if that was the
then
case,
he would have got in the ice chest sure.
He would have taken some of my electronics in the back.
Would've.
He could have made himself a sandwich.
Yeah.
With a whole lot of everything involved. Mm-hmm. But he didn't. Now, let's look at this right here. What I'm showing you is knuckles. Right now, a bear does not have knuckles.
See, if you notice, there's only 4.
Okay, now,
where's
correct.
the 5th one?
I want to show you. Good point, Alan. And we're going to take you.
You know, everybody, bears have them all 5, next to each other. Okay, when you look at a bear track, all 5 are like when you look at a Bigfoot track, all 5 toes are right there. On a bear, all 5 are all up in the front like that. If you notice, that one only had 4. Where was the 5th one?
Well, right now at this point, I can't.
And the 5th one, there, it's close.
Well,
but it's showing what we're seeing, anyways.
Yeah, but I had another one with that had, and I don't think I put it up.
The 5th one is off the window.
The 5th, the thumb is on the door.
Yeah, it's off the window.
Damn it, I can't see it.
But I mean, that picture showed Jim standing there, and he's
Yeah.
showing he's actually saw the thumbs down on the door. Now, bears don't have thumbs.
Okay. This right here, okay, see where Jimmy's left hand is right here? He's placing his knuckles right here on the window, and the thumb is down here on the bottom of the door.
And the same with the other side.
And same with the other side.
So, I mean, if it was a bear paw, all of them would be up
On top.
there.
On top.
All 5 would be up the top.
Right.
But because it wasn't a bear and it had a opposing thumb, the thumb was down on the door.
Now take that, plus bears don't have knuckles.
They don't have fingernails.
They don't have fingernails. Okay, what you're looking at right there is a fingernail, and it goes up to the first bend of your finger.
Yeah.
That's 2 inches, guys. And this right here, obviously,
It's
is the
like-
palm. All right, do you guys see that? This creature had knuckles on it. I am not bullshitting you. Now, we started to fixed our vehicles. I was so excited, I decided to empty out my ice chest with all the food that was left over. And what I decided to do is I said, I'm going to make a nice platter and leave a offering to the Bigfoots because they didn't thrash my truck.
They didn't get in the
Okay.
they didn't get in the ice chest, so we leave it for them.
Right. So at that time, we had some banana plants in our backyard. I said, you know what? I'm going to go all out. I cut some banana leaves, right? And I took them with me. And what I did is I made a platter. This was all of the food that was in the ice chest.
And the tobacco is for the offering.
Right.
For Native American, we do it the First Nation offering.
Right. So this is all of the food. I mean, it might not look like a lot, but this is piled up, you guys. There's fried chicken. There's prime rib at the bottom. Hamburger patties. Vegetables. All that. And
Danish.
Danishes, yes. And these were the orange. I was thinking before I came up that day, I cut some lemon leaves, branches off of our lemon tree, because it had smell to it.
Yeah,
And,
garnish.
and there are banana leaves from home that I brought to make an offering. And this is the lid of a tote box, one of my tote boxes that I put everything on it. And this is where we left everything on a cut stump of 20 feet away from our truck, where our trucks were, and we left that there. And so we left. We went. I was driving my truck by myself. All right. Here I am driving down from.
And there's even candy bars.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to leave those. See, I wanted to I was getting ready to steal the candy bars and nobody looked. But then I thought maybe Bigfoot might see me, and so I didn't grab them. But I almost grabbed the candy bars as my favorite kind.
Okay. So I'm driving down the hill now. All right. So we're about an hour and a half. I don't have cell service. We finally get to where about Squaw Valley is when we get service.
Yeah.
Okay. That's when I started getting cell service, and I said, I gotta call somebody about this.
Yeah, it's like an hour down.
An hour down.
Yeah.
I get on the phone. I call Mickey Burrow. I go, Mickey, this is what happened. I tell him the story. He starts laughing at me over the phone. He thinks I'm messing with him. I said, no, Mickey, seriously, I need for you to come and document this. Mickey Burrow is the forensic expert at the Fresno Police Department. 17 years, now 18 years, 19, 20 years probably now. He's the guy who drives around in the white van when there is a crime committed, murder, shooting, whatever. He goes out. If there's a body, he takes photographs of it. He takes, blood samples. If there's casings of bullets, he takes the markings. He'll mark them, takes photographs. This is the guy that when you want to put somebody away for life, you call him in to testimony, sit down, and he presents the evidence that he gathered to put this person away. This is what this guy does, Mickey Burrow. He is all about evidence. This is what this guy is. He is the evidence guy. So I call him because if I'm going to document this, what more of a person to do it would be Mickey. So I convinced him finally. I told him that day, could you please come over after work?
We'll give you 2 Scooby snacks. No, I'm just kidding.
Turn it off, Jimmy. And so I told him, can you come after work tonight? And he said, okay, sure, no, well, I'll come to your house. And I said, cool. Later on that day or that night, he calls me, dude, I can't come over. There's been a stabbing in North Fresno.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Dang it. So I said, okay, well, can you please come over tomorrow? And I said, well, I'm going to be working, Mickey. Can you please come over to my work in the parking lot and take photographs and measurements for me? And he said, sure. So I meet him at my work. Granted, the windows are still on my truck. I parked them in the garage so that way they wouldn't get. It wasn't raining or anything down here. And I drive to the parking lot, and Mickey arrives, and he looks at the window, and he's looking at me, and you're serious? I'm going, hell yeah, I'm serious, dude. So he does what he does. He brought a personal tackle box, that he has at home. He didn't have anything that he uses at work, right? He brought his own stuff with him. And he started taking measurements and photographs.
Pictures,
everything.
collecting DNA.
Well, actually, not the DNA yet. He was looking, and he starts taking pictures of all the stuff. He's looking at me, and he, looks at me, and he starts taking more pictures. And I videotape him as well, and he's taking more pictures and measurements. He's taking photographs and measurements. And as you can see here's the back window. Do you see it? Right above his head right there? Camera. See, I don't even have that on there. Got it. Sorry, you guys. All right, here you go. Now, he's taking measurements. He puts a measuring piece of tape with measurements on it. And back here in the back window, you can see the face back here. Then he looks at me and he goes, Jeff, do you know what you have here? I'm all, no, what do you mean? He goes, do you see this line coming down here? I'm going, yeah. That's mucus. I'm going, okay. He goes, you might have DNA here. I'm all, whoosh. I went, oh. And he goes to his toolbox and he gets 3 vials, right? And then he goes over there and he gets the Q-tips. I mean, these are like
big old long Q-tips.
These are like this is what he uses to get evidence, DNA, blood samples, whatever. He swabs 3 times and puts them in these vials, and tapes them up, and he gives them to me and he says, put this in a cool, dry spot, Jeff, away from the sunlight. And I said, okay, cool. And he goes, I'm going to go home tonight and I'm going to, get these pictures on the computer and I'll send them to you. I said, awesome, Mickey, thank you. So I go home and he calls me down that night and he goes, Mickey goes, Jeff, dude, man, you got me thinking on these whatever left the impression on your window. I go, what do you mean? Dude, I got to figure out what left the impressions. I go, okay, we'll figure it out. And then he called me the following day and he goes, dude, I got to show you something. So what he decided to do on his own, I did not tell him to do that. Alan did not tell him to do this. Nobody told him to do this. He did this on his own because we stumped him. Mr. Credible Evidence, dude, we stumped him. So what he decided to do, he decided to go, what animals right now are up in the mountains that could possibly make these impressions? So what he did, right away, a bear, right? So he got the face of a bear and reversed the image of one of his photographs of the lips and the nostrils, and he tried to match them up. On a bear, it did not come to a complete match. The only thing that came to sort of a match was just the nostril part, but not the width of the nostril or the lips. Nothing matched on a bear. And this is what he did. He did this on his own. I pay him to do this because we intrigued him. So he goes, okay, what?
And this intrigued us when he brought it. We were like, whoa.
You did this, Mickey. This is awesome.
Right.
So he decided, okay, what other animal are up there? A mountain lion. So he got a face of a mountain lion, and he tried to make the comparison. Not a match. Not even close. Then he goes, what other animal could be up there? A gorilla? So he got the face of a gorilla. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
it matched 100% to a gorilla's face.
He even did a mountain lion.
I just showed the mountain lion.
Yeah, mountain lion, no.
No.
But gorilla, dead on.
Dead on. And he looked at me, and he goes, "Dude, we don't have any gorillas up there." I'm going, "Duh." And
no reports of any escaped ones.
and he was dumbfounded. We had changed his life forever. This was a turning point in his life, because he is a law enforcement officer. He doesn't believe in monsters. He doesn't. There's no way, no how. But what we brought him.
He's a scientist too.
This is what this guy is.
Yeah.
All right. He matched the lips and the nostrils to 100% to a gorilla's face. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and he was telling me, like, I don't have a big screen, but you can see the little lines on the on the lips of the gorilla.
Let me zoom in on that. You see this guy? Alan's talking about these lips.
This is what impressed him the most. He said, this is what he told me. He told me that if you guys are going to fake me out, there's no way you would have put the lines of the lips. You wouldn't have thought of it. You guys are too stupid to do that, right? You would have never thought to put the lines that you have in your lips and make it match like that. He said that
there's no way.
And he knew that we weren't faking him because of that.
Because of that. Correct.
And he's right. I would have never thought to put the lines, In fact, I would have never thought to do the whole thing.
No, I mean, come on. Why would no, come on. So we have convinced Mickey Burrell that there are Sasquatches now. And now he's part of the team because of this. All right, you guys?
Yeah, he is.
Is this incredible or what?
He's a photographer extraordinaire, man. He checks all our pictures for, like, if anybody's trying to fake us out with UFO pictures and videos and stuff, he is really good.
Okay, so now
there's a lot of stuff you guys never see, because he says it's no good.
Now, so what I did, I drive home, and that night, just by coincidence, my buddy Dexter Morgan calls me, and I told him what happens. And sure enough, he starts laughing at me.
Right. Yeah.
He starts laughing on the phone. Yeah, right, dude, whatever. I'm going, no, dude, seriously, they're on my window. It happened on my windows. And he's laughing at me on the phone. And he goes, so where are your windows right now? And I'm all on my truck. He goes, idiot, take them off. And I'm all, good idea. So I call Alan. And I said, Alan, and my buddy Dexter told me to take the windows off the truck. And he says, dude, that's a great idea. So I go, Alan, do you know anybody who does windows? And he goes, heck yeah. Jimmy's wife runs the window place at the corner of Blackstone and Gettysburg.
Mm-hmm. All-Star Glass, they just got a, what do you call it?
What?
We just gave him a...
there you go. All-Star Glass at Gettysburg. And so Alan called...
They did a great job, too.
Alan called Jimmy and tells Jimmy to tell his wife that I told him, dude, I got to take these windows off my truck and preserve them. So I called my boss, and I told him, dude, I'm not going to come in the morning until about 10 or 11 o'clock. I have to do something. He says, okay, no problem. So I drive out there on, Thursday morning, and I had them take the windows off my truck, and I...
we plugged them.
Yeah, we plugged them. And I put them in the cardboard, at that point in time, the cardboard where the new glass came in. Mm-hmm. I slid them in there, and I brought them home. So to this day, you guys, I still have those windows. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you those windows that I have right here in front of me.
The story don't end with that. We actually had...
What else do I have?
We had the DNA tested.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? You want to talk about that right now? Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let me show you the windows. Let me show you the windows.
We won't tell them where or anything.
No.
But we actually we were there in person and watched the whole process of the DNA. The first time it came out, they said, he told us that it was contaminated because it came back human. And so we had to do it again.
Well, let me show you this right here then. we
See,
went.
but only it wasn't contaminated. We had Mickey Burrows do the thing, so do his thing. So how could it be contaminated? But only, you know what? Benefit of the doubt. We're gonna say it's contaminated, and we're gonna retest them.
Okay.
And we brought the windows in, and we did it again.
So.
And it came back human mammal again.
Okay. So before we continue on, let me show him the windows.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you the process.
Well, I mean that's probably good enough right there. I mean, we didn't go any further because we really can't go any further on the testing.
Okay.
It costs lots of money that we don't
my
got.
earphones off.
Yeah.
And Alan's gonna give you play by play.
Yeah, I'm just gonna snap the gloves. No,
Am
I'm
I
just
on
kidding.
camera? Okay.
Yeah, if you want, maybe we should have hooked the microphone up or something, But anyways, this right here is this is the back window, the privacy glass window. And if Jeff does it just right, the image is still there. You can see that's the chest that you can see right there pretty good. We had it a little while ago. It was looking good, man. But that's his head.
Oh, that thing's in the way.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, there you go. You could see that's like the chest and neck inside of his head right there. I mean, it's amazing.
You guys see the face?
Yeah, Jeff's wearing pants tonight. You're right, guys. Busted him last week, huh? But yeah, the windows. It's amazing that the Greasy Beast's image is still there. There you can see its eye socket right there.
You see it?
It's like where his leg is. I think so. I don't. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can see it better than we can, I think. Yeah, I got a delay.
Right there. There you go.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I
Yeah.
tell you. Yeah, you can see it. It looks good, man.
Got it?
Yeah. Yeah, we have to hurry because we got Heidi. We gotta have Heidi on. Hi, Heidi. I see you in chat. Jeff just broke the glass. That's it. We're done. No, I'm just kidding. No, he didn't break it.
Here is now
This is the lips and stuff.
Yeah, you really can't see this one anymore.
We had that one. That one's been swabbed. We had it in the lab and it got swabbed again for the DNA. Yeah, but only the second time or the third time that we did it with this, it was too degraded. We tried to do a deeper DNA test, but it had been like 3 years or something, and it was too degraded at that time. But you can still see the lips and stuff, kind of. Man, you can see the face on the other one really good. Wow.
There's the nostrils and the lips, and the knuckles are way down here. It's hard, but I still have the windows, guys.
Yep. Yeah, and I know a lot of the people that's been with us for a while. They heard this, and then they seen it on Finding Bigfoot, and they seen it on Monsters and Mysteries. But we thought it was a good time. We've in the recent few months we've had tens of thousands of new people listening on YouTube and Dark Matter Network, and we thought it was a good time to come and bring this out and talk about it again, because we're getting ready to go do some more Bigfooting, but it's going to be at the Thule Reservation.
Okay, right at this point, she's swabbing the mucus off of the window, right here, and he is also trying to take it off using a syringe. Again, this is what they do. And then show them that one. There's another one. And here, here we have a photograph that we took, so that way they know exactly what they're looking at, because it's hard to see on white and white. So they're trying to get the mucus, and they're getting it there. And this gentleman here documenting everything. And here is the DNA process to bring it up. Again,
That actually is where, after they do all the process of teasing the DNA pellets out and then dissolving them into a liquid, and then they inject it into this jelly stuff, and they put a charge on it, right, on each side of the gelatin block, and then the DNA stretches out, it races across, takes a few hours, but it stretches across the thing, and it actually leaves the markers in there. And then those markers are how you tell if it's what it is, right?
Right.
Like if it's a human, or if it's, nothing, or whatever.
Let's see if there's any more pictures that I can show you guys.
It was an interesting process to do the DNA. It really was.
Oh, no.
Oh, looked like it crashed.
No,
No?
it's still there, but I just don't know. Oh, here it is.
Are you sure? Oh yeah, I can still see this.
Yeah, but how do I bring that part up?
All I know is that this has been really interesting since, we go down in that same spot. We've been down there. We've recorded it screaming at us. I mean, like King Kong screaming, where it was vibrating us. We've got more evidence from down there than we ever had. There's some videos on our YouTube that was taken from down there that David Ragosa got of a couple of them. One is sitting under the tree in the shade, and they say there's a baby one with that one. That's on our YouTube. And then there's another one that was standing at a rock side of a big granite hillside rock with some cracks in it. It looks like it's like trying to get lizards or something out of the cracks.
I can't. Can you pull that up for me? Do you think how you can? I mean, it's there. I just don't know how to get to the taskbar. Last time we did it, it was over here.
I think that's where it is.
Uh,
Let me see.
Thank you.
Oh yeah,
All
a little bit
right.
of dead air there, huh? Sorry about
Okay. All right. And that's pretty much all the pictures. Here's a what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna show you a picture that I took out of the window when we were driving out of a Sunday morning when we were leaving the truck there. This is how it looked driving out. All right. Yeah, it was pretty miserable. So, okay. So there you go. Those are the windows of my truck. You guys can go Google this. It's all over the internet. I believe we have, and when people say, I need definitive proof. I need to see it for themselves.
We even think that probably a body will have to be drug in, even though we're not saying we're going to go, hunting one down. It probably will take a body.
Right.
I mean, even with all that, and even with DNA that everybody's bringing, everybody's still saying that's not enough.
Right. But what we showed you tonight, all right, a person did not make those impressions.
Nope.
A bear did not make those impressions. A mountain lion. You can go ahead and choose any other animal you wish. A gorilla. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. Mickey Burrell from Fresno PD said whatever made those lips had the face of a gorilla on them. And had 8-inch lips.
And it was actually bigger than a gorilla. That's what he said. Like,
yeah.
It was like bigger than a gorilla. Even a gorilla's lips aren't that big.
Right.
But it matches them, but on like steroids.
Right, exactly.
Like huge, like twice as large,
Right.
maybe even 3 times larger. It's interesting.
What else? I mean, this right here has changed our lives big time. When this happened to us, I mean, come on, you guys.
See, that is a good question. Like, now they go back. Now the one question we have is, what was David shooting at?
I don't know.
We don't know, but all we know is that was the most nervous I ever seen him in my life.
Why haven't we actually told him? Asked him?
Yeah,
Have we?
I think brought it up. I brought it up to him, and he pretty much is like, "There's no such thing as Bigfoot."
Okay. I'm going to tell you what I think. I think he saw the Bigfoots. They were really close to our campsite.
They may have threatened him. They may have.
Right.
Came at him.
And he offloaded his weapon. I don't know if it was at them or if it was in the air, but when he came inside that tent and told us to get our asses out and we got to get out now. And you know what? When we were in the process of tearing everything down, he was trying to make some coffee with the
he was breaking down his stove
after he made coffee, and somehow he was so much in a hurry. This guy, he's been camping before. He knows all about how to take those what are they? Not kerosene, but propane, little green propane tanks off. Somehow he burned himself really bad, and you could tell he was nervous.
Yeah,
he was really nervous.
He wasn't himself.
He was. We wanted to get out of there really quick, and we did. We were not thinking when he offloaded that gun. What was he shooting at Bigfoots, or was he scaring them off? Because remember, the motion detector on the north and the south side went off at the same time.
See, that's what later we were sitting. We're sitting and talking about it, and we're like, wow, like, man, he really wanted to get out of there. And the two sensors went off on either side of the tent. He ran out like somebody stuck him. I mean, like, he went out quick.
Right.
And almost immediately started shooting, and then stuck his head in, and he was like using colorful language to say, we need to get out of here, like, now. And we did, and I'm not trying to like say he lost it or anything like that. I mean, I don't know what I would do. I freaked out when I saw Bigfoot. I didn't go camping for 6 years. I didn't go back to the mountains. So, I mean, it does things to you. It changes your whole life. So who knows, who knows?
I haven't seen one yet to this day, you guys. And I don't know what's going to happen when I do see one. But it'll change. Again, it will change my life. I know they exist because of all the evidence that we have gotten so far with sound, and the impressions on these windows and footprints. We find footprints over there all the time, guys. Come on, there's no people walking 5,000 feet elevations with no socks and new shoes on.
Right.
All right, simple as that.
Yeah, we never asked him, and we don't really we never really talk about it because we don't want to we like David a lot. I mean, he's one of our guys. I mean, we don't want to make people think anything about him, but he's an upstanding guy, and he's been researching Bigfoot for as long as I have. I know that. That's about 20-something years.
Right, exactly. All right, let's get a hold of Heidi.
I'm not done researching Bigfoots. Man, we have some really cool stuff coming from the res and around Sequoia National Park. Oh, man.
Who could it be at this hour?
Who can it
Heidi.
be? What do you think?
It's the Bigfoot people. Bigfoot calling.
How are you guys?
We are doing good. Sorry about that, but we had to, talk about these windows, man.
I understand. That was very interesting stuff. I was watching when I could. I'm moonlighting, doing some extra work that I gotta take care of, so I'm back and forth.
Awesome. All right, Heidi.
Making that overtime, huh?
That's all good.
Heidi sent us over some photographs, and just like Danny, they have them placed on the Art Bell website right now, marked, I think, Heidi Hollis and Paranormal Central with today's date. So if you guys want to go over there, for those who are listening, at the artbell.com website, we're going to be showing those pictures on live stream right now, and Heidi's going to talk to us about them. Heidi, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Yes, Well, I enjoy giving reports to you guys, and boy, do I learn a lot looking and researching some of this stuff. I tell you, I got a juicy doozy tonight that, it's going to be fun. But to tell you guys a little bit about myself, I am Heidi Hollis, and you go to my main website, which is HeidiHollis.com, and what I really love doing are getting you guys emails and experiences, anything and everything out of the ordinary. Send it on over to me at oddadvicehh@gmail.com. And I love, 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 love going over them. So send them on over, and we will address them on here. So, getting to the first
photograph number
goods
1
this evening. All right. So,
Well, I peeked. In the email. I peeked in the emails earlier today, and I thought, man, Heidi she's the shiznits, man. she goes deep and gets in there and really is researching like crazy, man. You're good. You're getting really good. You have the goods. I'm gonna tell you.
Thanks. It's been really, really fascinating. I mean, I came across this video that you guys can catch on ArtBell. It's incredible. Okay, so I'm gonna read off what this person reported here. So this is a gentleman with the Crow Discovery Project. I'm not quite sure what that is, but apparently they are aiming to reveal what's going on in the skies over their state. And they have a video, and then they have these still photos. And these still photos were shot on 7,000 pixel wide shot with a telephoto lens. And this person states this took place September 25th of this year, 2015, and this is what they wrote. Here's more chemtrail footage that proves contrails are an excuse to fool people into thinking chemtrails are not real. Along with the orbs, UFOs, this plane literally disappears in this video. The entire sequence in this clip was shot with a telephoto lens and high-res stills in the state of Virginia. This area has the worst chemtrails I've ever seen, and the planes fly nonstop every hour of the day. All right, so that's their statement. Now, what I've come across, okay, so rumors are abound, and scientists are speaking of geoengineering to counteract the weather changes. So this is what's being said about why these chemtrails are being created out there and whatnot. And it's I don't know, it's terrible stuff that I've looked into that just blows my mind. So they're putting apparently things like aluminum oxide in these chemtrails that can acidify water where fish can't take oxygen from the water. Yeah. So, and it's not good for plant life, tree health. Trees are stopping taking up nutrients and water, and people are noticing their trees are looking a little bit more withery and dying. It's because they are, and where they're seeding some of these clouds, with sea salt to create rain or whatever, it produces less crops, so it causes issues for the natural organic food that farmers are aiming to produce more nowadays, because people are really sick of the stuff that's being sprayed upon the plants. So they're finding a way to do away with farmers being independent in that. So because of all this crap that they're throwing in the chemtrails, the farmers are needing to rely more on engineered seeds, so genetically modified plants and
so they
whatnot.
Can handle that,
they call them as Terminator seeds, produced by no other than Monsanto. So these plants don't regenerate seeds, so the farmers need to keep going back to Monsanto for more seeds, and because they need something that's resilient to the crap they're putting in the chemtrails. So they control what's being grown, how much is being grown, kind of like gods under the authority of man and not nature. So as you go through some of these images on here, you go ahead and click through a few of them. And so this person...
So the second picture right here, we could barely see the plane on the right-hand side.
Right, and he says that, I mean, this literally, the plane literally disappears, and as you click through the sequence, you'll see that the plane does kind of look like it's fading away. There's a close-up shot of it, and yeah, it's really kind of a bizarre set of sequence of photos. So it was this guy onto something, and he was really kind of amazed for a couple of these. What is it? The first 7 photos, I want to say, are of the same chemtrail that's being formed, and they show where the chemtrail's kind of sputtering on and off. You see the gaps in the streak a bit there, so it shows that whoever was shooting this stuff out of the back of their plane were cutting it off, you know, and was starting to teeter off and empty its load, and then when it shuts it off, the plane kind of seems to fade out. It's kind of, you know, they're talking about contrails being a natural phenomenon, but contrails dissipate within a matter of minutes, naturally.
They don't stick around for all day.
Yeah, they don't stick around and spread out, and they also, you know, contrails, it's a natural condensation in the air. So how is it able to shut off as this plane exhibits? You know, right? I mean, that was the main point of the person that took these photos. It's like, oh, it's contrails, but hello, it's shutting off, and then it's gone. It's like, how's that possible? Which is quite true. So, as you're clicking through that, the very last photo in that sequence is of a different one, a different plane that was throwing out a very distinctive rainbow-colored chemtrail. So they were kind of blown away by the different colors of that reflective aluminum coming out of the back. So, to continue a little bit on this, so this man-made cloud cover that's being created from these chemtrails coming out of these planes dumping this aluminum and barium and whatnot, it causes the sun to reflect off from the planet. So, and what do we need, though, from the sun? We need to have certain nutrients like vitamin D to be absorbed into our bodies for, you know, the production of energy and things like that. And now it's some of the research I came across, you know, it's almost at an epidemic level of people being low in vitamin D. And this low vitamin D is leading to a whole lot of different things, and there's an increase in the cases of rickets, something that was seen way back in the day when kids worked in coal mines because they got no sunlight. So kids are popping up with rickets once again, and some of the stuff that they're throwing in these planes, you know, aluminum and barium, it's linked to such diseases as Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, ADD, and autism. And this stuff lingers in the air for about 20 hours. And breathing this stuff in leads to cancers. And so I suggest, you know, and the scientists are suggesting if you see a, you know, day getting, you know, slammed with a bunch of these chemtrails in the sky, is to get the heck indoors. You know, don't sit there and watch it happen and get out of the way.
Start wearing respirators.
Yeah. I mean, just crazy stuff. Now, this is interesting. Now, this is something I had not heard, but I guess it's starting to be made more well known. I don't know what the name of this experiment was, but just to show that the government has no problem in experimenting on its public. In the 50s and 60s, the government experimented on putting zinc cadmium sulfide with radioactive particles into the air to be breathed in St. Louis and Corpus Christi, Texas, during the Cold War. They used to spray over the. I think. Let me see one second. They sprayed this over the city in Corpus Christi, and in St. Louis, they installed sprayers on buildings and put them on top of station wagons to make sure that people got a nice ingestion. So they ingested these particles well enough. Now, what were they aiming for? It was to try to create some sort of, just in case the Russians attacked, that we would be able to somehow be immune to an attack of some sort. I don't know if it was a biochemical type of weapon or whatnot. So, crazy madness stuff. So this is nothing new for the United States government to throw stuff into the air and to see how well we tolerate it. So, going to the next image, and this is an image, and this is a video also on the website, of bioenvironmental engineer Kristen Megan, who calls herself an industrial hygienist, of all things. That's an interesting title. I've never heard of such a thing. Part of her job was to know what was going on in the military, sort of like being an internal OSHA compliant personnel type of thing. So she made sure that things didn't go too far one way or the other, and kept workers safe at a U.S. Air Force base. So she knew what chemicals were being used on the base and what amounts. She was in charge of keeping track of all that sort of thing. Now, she had heard about chemtrails, and she always thought, gosh, people are nuts, talking about chemtrails and what it is that they're up to, and, they're just contrails. So, oddly enough, she started finding large amounts of chemicals on base that had no label and no manufacturer names or anything connected to it. Now, again, this is the person who's in charge of making sure of what's on base, so things are compliant. And she could not track the stuff down and its use. So she started asking questions around the base, and she got demonized, is what she called it. And so she kind of dropped it for a couple of years. And then she started asking again because she kept finding these large quantities of these specific chemicals around the base, and she just couldn't put her finger on it. And she got admitted into a mental institution and had her daughter taken away.
What?
Just for looking into chemicals?
Looking into chemicals, which was her job on base, and this happened to her. So. Now, what were the large quantities that she was finding around base were aluminum, barium, strontium oxides, and sulfates. And she initially thought that they were being used for something else. So she personally started doing air, soil, and water testing in the area and found these exact same elements were in very large quantities that do not happen naturally in the environment. And she said, I had to say something. She's like, it wasn't the safe thing to do, but it was the right thing to do.
Right.
So she calls it weather weaponry, that they're destroying sources of food around the globe known to be done since the 1940s. So, how do you destroy your enemy? Well, you make their food inedible, And she also cites this as being a way to make big money. And interesting enough, she points out that fluoride was a mining waste product. And she feels that the government, will sell what's going on with the stuff that they're putting in chemtrails, sell it as being an acceptable thing, just like they did with fluoride. I was like, whoa, no, she didn't. So she's on an interesting path to trying to expose people for what it is that's really going on. She's like, I worked there.
And she's still alive.
So
Right.
she recommends people to go to her website, which is Kristen Megan, KristenMeghan.com, and geoengineeringwatch.org. So just absolutely mind blowing.
I can't believe she's still alive.
Under her nose. What's that?
I can't believe she's still alive.
Yeah, well, I don't know how old that video was.
Wow.
Now this is interesting. Okay, so this links into the next image, and for those of you who have heard of probably the worst disease I think I've ever heard in recent years, Morgellons disease. And what is Morgellons? That is a strange phenomenon that is going on, that having odd string-like material growing from one's body. And, I don't know if people have paid attention, but they're starting to get a little bit more credit for this being a real phenomenon, because for a while, doctors were saying that these people were crazy and they had a disorder, a mental disorder, and were thinking things were coming out of their body, and were just digging things out that they had purposely put there. So, yeah, it's just a strange thing. But interesting enough, okay, so in showing that image that you got up right now, just to link back a little bit with the chemtrails and contrails, contrails are high altitude and low humidity. It requires those things. And for clouds, low altitude, high humidity. So they're absolutely opposing things that are required for contrails and clouds. So chemtrails don't fit in between that. I mean, it just makes no sense for contrails to be forming into clouds as they do. So
okay, that makes sense.
But now, as for this Morgellons disease, okay, there was a report in 2011. I remember watching this back then too, because I think it was the first time that I got a really good look at, I heard of these stories, but it was just mind blowing. So they report on an entire family, and I put the link to the Nightline ABC special on this, and they report on an entire family who was suffering from having these strange fibers coming from underneath their skin, and they felt that it was contagious because the entire family got it. And the husband got it so bad, it appeared to be like ALS syndrome. And he started to have neurologic decline, and the mother, even, the wife, had foot drop, palsy, brain fog, where you just can't do simple tasks. And the father, he had perfect, when you have ALS, I mean, your lung function essentially is what shuts down and ultimately kills you. The husband passed away. He had no problems with lung function, but he had great amounts of neurologic decline. And the family requested that an autopsy be done on him, and none was done. It was declined to be done, which was really bizarre. Wow. Now, on the same program, another mother describes how her 2-year-old son had a sore on his lip, and oftentimes these people who suffer from Morgellons describes bugs being under their skin, like things wiggling, like they literally feel like these things are alive and it's moving. The 2-year-old pointed to his lip, had a sore that just would not heal, and said bugs. And the mother just so happened to be a biologist who worked at Mass General Hospital, Massachusetts, and she pulled out a bundle of fibers from her son's lip, 2-year-old son's lip. And she was the first to really take and analyze this stuff, put it under a microscope, and found that the fibers glowed, especially under UV light. They glowed blue and red. And she was told she needed a psych eval when she took this information to a top physician to try to find some help for her son, wondering why is he saying bugs are under his skin and why are these things coming out of his skin? And since she came forward, 4,500 people have contacted her. So, but what people like her and are being said, and dermatologists are, pretty consistent in calling these people to be delusional with parasitosis, thinking that parasites are under their skin. Wow. So it's just absolutely crazy. Now, during this episode, there was a police, police lab took these fibers and had them compared against 100,000 known fibers to mankind so they could analyze what these fibers were, and there was no match. No match was found. So just crazy stuff. What? So if you go, what's interesting now, okay, if you go to the next image there, you see the first Morgellons disease fibers that are bundled up. That's from ABC's Nightline. And people like Dr. Sophia Smallstorm, she feels that the chemtrails are contributing to those being afflicted with Morgellons disease. Those are the fibers that you have up there that are coming out of people's skin. That's actual footage from Nightline of what was taken from somebody's body.
Okay, so these fibers are not living, things. They're
not living things, but people that have them coming out of their skin, some have reported them wiggling out.
What?
That's just so highly disturbing. It's like, oh my God, I couldn't even imagine.
I'm going to be asleep.
So I'm going
to be trying to sleep tonight, and I'm going to be having these little things. My arms are going to be like itching. And thank you.
You know, when I worked at the casino, you know, being in my position, I could wander around at will, and I would go and chat and visit with people that were regulars, especially the ones that would, you know, drop a lot of money. But there is these ones that they won a car, you know, and they won a house, and you know they were like big winners and big players. But the lady, and I thought they were on drugs, right? But only the lady, she was always showing me her neck and her chest area,
right?
Yeah.
And saying that she had that stuff coming out of her, and I mean you couldn't see it with your eye though. And I thought she was really tweaking. You know what I mean? I mean the whole time, and it wasn't until like recently that they've been proving this is real. So that whole time she might not have been tweaking. She might have been telling me the truth.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
Oh, it gets more interesting. Wait till you see this next image.
You know, it really tripped me out. We were out the last time we went Bigfooting. I was talking to Jeff about all the trees being dead. Everywhere we went, the trees are dying everywhere. And
oh yeah.
And I told him, man, look at, you know, something's killing the trees. And we were in a redwood forest, you know what I mean, with huge giant redwoods. The redwoods seemed to be okay, but all the cedar trees and the fir trees and everything, they were all dying. And I mean, more than I've ever seen in my life.
Compliments of chemtrails.
Man, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's really, really disturbing what's going on. So Dr. Sophia Smallstorm, she says that the chemtrails are what's contributing to people getting Morgellons. And interesting enough, I had not heard this too, but NASA has admitted to changes happening in the atmosphere that's allowing contrails to linger longer, and they call them Jet Cyrus, probably Miley Cyrus, I'm just kidding, Jet Cyrus clouds.
they're having jet lag.
She also cites that dried red blood cells that are human red blood cells are also being found in the air, but they're like engineered to be preserved, which is really like, now who did that and why? Now, this image that you have up there, okay, so the first image that you saw with these lovely spindly, like wiry things, those are the more typical ones that were being seen. Okay, so the fibers, they're tubular and they're self-replicating outside of the human body. And so they're creating new elements that might conjure up the thought that we humans are being bioengineered to become something else, even like a hybrid of a sort, through the use of nanotechnology.
Oh, wow.
People who suffered from Morgellons had more of those fiber-like things. They started off with those fiber-like spindly things coming from their bodies, but now they're producing this stuff you see on the screen. They're like plaques, crystalline and metal-like devices and glass that can shatter. So they're pulling out these multicolored things, like they're fully developing to, you know, something recognizable even. There was even a couple of people who have pulled items out that have numbers on them.
What?
So it's like, and this is an interesting thing too. You know, people are feeling like, you know, they're infected with this stuff. But an interesting thing, I don't know if you guys are fans of The Walking Dead, but I am. And as the season has gone on, you know, they thought, oh, you get bit, you get infected. And they soon found out, hold on, we're all infected.
It's all aerial.
If you die, you come back to life. Everybody's infected with this stuff. But it's just some of the people's bodies are rejecting it. And it's rejecting it in this form, or Morgellons disease, where your body's trying to get rid of the toxins. And so this is the result of it. It's excreting the nano technology that's being injected into us. So are we going to turn out to be like The Walking Dead? Because this stuff is killing. It's killing people.
So it's not mad cow disease. Yeah. It's really this. Remember they were saying everybody was going to get mad cow disease? It really was this. This is what it was. And it might be that making the mad cows.
Well, I don't know about you, but my allergies...
Mine too.
Have...
I know what you're going to say.
It's off the charts.
Yeah.
I mean, the medicine that I'm using right now for my allergies are not working anymore.
Same as my wife, same here.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, I thought maybe because it was a dry year, no water, very dusty now in the air, but my allergies are so bad, you guys. I can't. I take Claritin. I'm probably going to have to go back to the allergy doctor and get prescriptions to take steroid spray, because I used to do that and I stopped.
See, now this is scary. In chat, Purple Rose said that this stuff is activated by frequencies, and man, it would be so easy for them to put out a frequency right now with all the cell towers, and I mean, they could even set your cell phone to give off a frequency. You know what I mean, by pinging it,
right?
And everybody's cell phone would do a frequency, and it would be right on you. You know what I mean? Nobody could avoid that. I mean, that's kind of a scary thought. Maybe we are going to be Walking Dead things,
And what's interesting, too, I have crazy, horrific allergies, and I have an appointment tomorrow. I mean, it's just...
Wow.
It's turning into like an asthma.
Yeah, I
didn't have breathing problems, but now it's like, it seems like every year I get a new thing I'm allergic to, so I totally can relate. What's fascinating, how some of these images here of the Morgellons objects, if you click to the next one, you'll see some more horrific-looking things that people are pulling out of their bodies. You could click through a couple of more.
Oh, wow.
These things, they resemble something like a fungus. And for nanos to be introduced into organic objects, people, whatnot, they do use a fungus of a sort to do that. And they're finding that these items have a fungal-like base to them. So it's pretty mind-blowing. And I would welcome people to check out the website Carnicom, CARNICOM.com, and MorgellonsExposed.com. And there's also there's a lecture that Dr. Sophia Smallstorm did that you can find on our Bell site. Now, you guys aren't going to like this very much, but so the CDC says 20,000 people in the United States alone who are afflicted with Morgellons. And there's Morgellons.com that has 14,720 registered families on there. And as you click through the images, and you'll see I have a lovely map that's also there. Oh. And you'll see the states that have the most concentration of those being afflicted.
Red being the most.
California's number one.
Great.
That flies in the face of what I know.
Oh. There's your map, and red is the most concentrated pointed them out.
Why?
like-
Why California? What's
They want
You
us.
know-
They want us dead, and we're the most people. We're the most
Look
populous
at all the warmer
state.
states seem to be the highest numbers. I mean,
Yeah,
Texas, Florida,
does.
California.
Yeah,
But
and
then,
Indiana.
I don't know. I
yeah.
mean, it's
Or is it? What's the one next to Indiana?
you guys spend more time outdoors. We're hiding here most of
Wisconsin?
the year in the Midwest.
yeah? Huh?
So
Yeah,
you guys are
Florida,
just popping it all
Texas,
up in
and
your
California.
skin. So it's horrific.
Well,
Really
it's
horrific.
horrific in California. I mean, you. It looks like sometimes when you go out, it looks like a checkerboard.
Right.
Outside, and then it'll be in the morning, and then it isn't like or contrails. It spreads out, and by the afternoon, it's overcast. Even
Right.
though the weatherman says it's going to be a beautiful day, I mean,
I remember,
no overcast.
Cheryl and I were watching the weather report 2 days prior to the red blood moon.
Right.
Meteorologist said, "Oh, it is going to be so freaking clear. You guys are going to witness the perfect sight for a red blood moon ever." And guess what happened? They started dropping these chemtrails, and it was completely blocked. The sky was blocked completely.
When I got home later that night after the show, we was out there looking at the full moon. It was like high in the sky, and it had a big ring around it. The clouds in a big ring, and it was like, look at these guys, man. You can't even see the thing.
Just our government looking out for you. That's all.
Yeah,
With a
makes
little
me.
aluminum to reflect the sun.
Yeah, but who would? Okay, so who's dropping this? The military?
Hey, Megan, she says that it's the U.S. Air Force who she worked for. That's their planes loading this stuff up. She found it in her own cargo holds. We're on a base that she was supposed to be in charge of for such things.
Wow.
So, Kristen Megan is blowing the whistle. They had her institutionalized. We'll see how much longer she lasts. Godspeed to her to keep it going, because it's just it's so scary what's going on. And these poor people that are suffering from this, they get no relief, and it's killing people.
Yeah.
I mean, their bodies are saying, to heck with this Walking Dead virus in me. I'm going to, toss it out. And they're tossing out, complex-looking objects that resemble nanobites and nanotechnology. It's just crazy stuff that's coming out.
Makes
of
me
these
think
people.
of those.
I mean,
what do they
those
call
images
those?
are just, I couldn't imagine. Makes me itchy.
What are those stones that says that those big old huge stones, and it says in 15 languages or something like that they want to reduce the population? I maybe that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they're in your face with the big giant stones saying that's what they want, and then they're spraying it. And
Yeah.
when they
And it
spray it over California, the wind currents blow to the east.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever they spray here is getting spread out over the United States.
Right.
Yeah.
And-
You know what? It is worldwide, though. It's a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah.
If you Google, Australian cases, it comes up. I mean, European cases. So, is this something that, the governments around the world secretly agreed to? Well, we got to protect our people because we screwed up the planet. So let's try to reflect some of the sunlight. And lo and behold, it's killing everybody, and Monsanto's making a profit by selling resistive seeds to such stuff that they're throwing in our soil and the water and everything. I mean, these big die-offs of fish and birds, I mean, they're inhaling this stuff too. So it's killing them as much as it's killing us. It's really, really horrific. But who knows? But I do have a spooky story for you guys if you're ready.
Sure.
Okay.
Hold on,
All
let
right,
me-
this is black-eyed kid time.
All right. Hold on. Mood time.
Okay.
Okay. Go for it.
All right, so black-eyed children. Oh gosh, probably one of my more fun topics I love to look into. All right, so this is a story that was shared online, and it reads: I was reading these cases about black-eyed kids when I realized I had an encounter myself. The year was around 2004, and I lived in New York City at the time. I believe I was walking down near Rockefeller Center. It was around the afternoon, and then there were crowds of people around in broad daylight. I was lost in my thoughts when all of a sudden a very tall black man in what I'm recalling was a gray suit said, "Excuse me," as I was walking past him, whereas he had his back facing me as I was passing him on his left. I didn't see his face. As he was angling to face me, he asked if I could fill out a questionnaire form, and the form immediately was held so I could see it. My eyes looked directly to the form without seeing his face. The form asked for my name, my telephone number, my address, and a couple other questions that I didn't bother to take heed of because as soon as I saw the personal info they wanted, I wasn't interested. And as I turned away to say no thanks to him, that's when I saw his eyes were completely black, no whites at all. He was polite when he asked me, just like all cases with other people. I distinctly remember he had clean, impeccable shoes. He wasn't completely black. He looked lighter skinned, mixed, and he was probably over 6 feet tall, around 28 years or so. When I saw his eyes, my instinct was, oh, he must have had some sort of disease that made his eyes turn completely black. And for a second, I felt sorry for the poor guy, but who had to do this line of work looking the way that he does. He didn't give off any dark vibes, probably because I saw others around me, which made me feel safe. But like most people in New York City, he seemed sterile and unemotional. I never told anyone because I thought he had an illness. I forgot about it over the years. Okay, so I have another one. This one is definitely on the black-eyed kid. Okay. This one says, in 2007, I was briefly separated from my husband. This took place in Green Bay, Wisconsin. He had a serious drug issue, and I got tired of the stress and lying. A friend of mine was moving to Wisconsin. He offered to help me to get out of Florida. I had 3 teenage kids who were already ready for a new start in life, so I took him up on his offer. I had a small car and signed it over to my husband because I couldn't get it to Green Bay. We left in mid-August and arrived in Green Bay 17 hours later. My friend had rented a home for us, and we settled in. It was a perfect neighborhood. We couldn't be happier. One day in September, my kids went to a park that was at the end of the street. I was home alone, just enjoying my new life. I had the front door open, and the storm door closed and locked. Then there was a knock at the door. As I turned from the kitchen and took a step toward the door, the strongest feeling of doom overcame me. I was filled with terror. I stopped for a moment in my tracks. Another knock came from the door, and I found myself suddenly standing in front of it. Standing on the top step were 2 boys, maybe 12 to 13 years old. The terror inside me was so strong that I wanted to vomit. I was shaking when I began to speak, but one of the boys spoke first. "Please, miss, can you let us in? We need to use your phone." The fear was palpable, but I answered, "Don't you guys have a phone?" They both turned to each other, not saying a word. Then the boy spoke, changing the question. "Please, miss, my brother needs to use your bathroom. We won't hurt you. You don't have to worry. Please, give us permission to come in." I said, "No, I don't think so. There's a gas station on the next corner." The boy's head tilted upward with his eyes were just 2 deep, dark pools, absolutely soulless. The other boy also looked at me. "Miss, we need to come in now. Let us in." I said no. I slammed the door shut and locked the knob, the chain, and the deadbolt. I was shaking like I had been in a very cold room. I looked out the peephole, and they were both looking at the door still. The one boy kept saying, "Please let us in. We are cold." How could they be cold? It's 80 degrees outside. I yelled through the door, "Go away. I'm going to call the police." I looked out, and they both stood there and only stepped off the stairs when my boys came walking up the sidewalk. I watched as the boys got up to the end of the walkway and turned in the opposite direction of which my boys were coming. They ran up to the door and were surprised to find it locked. I carefully unlocked it and hurried them in and locked the door behind them. They asked me who the kids were, and I told them that they were just kids selling candy for schools. After that day, I try to stay aware of what is around me. All I know is that what I experienced was something out of a movie. It traumatized me, and and I sleep with all the lights on still. I didn't tell my kids until my youngest, a girl, had graduated high school. My oldest son said that the moment that they had stepped onto the sidewalk where our house was, he had a weird feeling hit him in the pit of his stomach. He also admitted that he had seen the both of them down the walking trail, but never since. Ever since that time, I think of it, I get sick. There you have it, guys.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Oh, disturbing stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Love it.
Man, I've read some of those black-eyed
Halloween
children,
is
black-eyed
coming.
stories from what's his name, J.C. Johnson,
Right.
That they had. Oh man, they're scary.
Weatherly.
Weatherly, yeah, that's it. David Weatherly.
David Weatherly.
We should have him on one day and do another show with them.
Oh, that sounds like
Halloween
a
show with David Weatherly.
Oh, we're gonna have some Halloween shows. Trust me, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Halloween. Halloween is probably our number one holiday that we. I think the wife more than me, definitely. She started decorating last week, but this house is going to be turned into a monster house here pretty soon.
Yeah, we even loaned the studio to her.
Yeah, we're gonna. For those who don't know, every year we put on a haunted house here at the house. We've been doing it now, going on probably 7 or 8 years, and now it's to the point where we have somebody at the front door. We don't charge. We just do this for the kids because we love to scare people. But we average, if it's not raining, if it's a good weather, we average between 750 to 1,000 people every year. And we take them around the side of our house to the backyard and out the other side of the house to the gate. And that's what we do every year. So this year, actually, we're going to they say it's good. We're going to have El Nino coming in. Well, I hope it doesn't start until after Halloween because that's going to mess us up. But we'll see what happens.
I would come along and do it, but every time I see the after pictures, the line goes down the street and around the block.
It does.
I mean, these guys are popular. They do a popular haunted house.
Yeah, if we don't do it, we'll get egged. So we got to keep going. So
Fun.
All right, Heidi. Thank you very much.
Great stuff, Heidi. Wow, you really got into it this week. It was good, really good.
The more I dug, the more it connected to other stuff, and I'm like, goodness, this is mental.
It is.
Crazy stuff.
Scary.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Very cool. All right, Heidi. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
And we'll see you next
Bye,
Sunday.
Heidi.
Okay, bye-bye.
See ya. All right. And, God, we are just about
We're
done.
almost
We
out
got about
here.
3 minutes left to go.
Yep.
One thing really I wanted to talk about, let me put the photograph up.
So you got like 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Up at the Monday or Tuesday, I don't know if you guys heard about the suicide of Jim Carrey's girlfriend.
I did hear that.
Let me put that up. That's not it. I don't know if you guys were aware of this, but Jim Carrey and his ex-wife, Jenny McCarthy, had a son, I believe, and he was autistic. And they blamed the vaccinations that he received. Come on, stop that. When everybody needs vaccinations. When you grow up, you get so many shots. And they
make it like you have to have it to go to school and all this stuff.
So they were blaming the government and the vaccinations. And I remembered about 2 months ago, Jim Carrey went on Jimmy Kimmel's show, and as soon as he walked out, and Jimmy Kimmel invited him on, he started doing a triangle with his hands and putting his tongue inside the triangle, as if he was making fun of the Illuminati. And I was going, whoa, I can't believe he's doing that.
He looked terrible, too.
And
I mean, he was skinny and dark circles around his eyes.
Right.
I mean, he really looked bad.
So what people are saying is that the Illuminati basically told Jim Carrey and Jenny McCarthy to knock it off. And they didn't. And especially Jim Carrey, he was really going out there and pushing against vaccinations. So they're saying that they took out his girlfriend. And she didn't really commit suicide. They actually killed her to basically tell him to shut up. So I just wanted to throw that out to you because I'm not the only one saying this. As a matter of fact, as soon as I heard that she was gone, I knew that that's what happened. They took her out. All right. That's it. We are done. I want to thank you for showing up wherever you may be. I hope you like the show. Go Google the Impression Sanger Paranormal Society Bigfoot Windows, because that story is all over the internet.
Watch Monsters and Mysteries. What is it? Bigfoot Wars.
Right.
Hellhounds.
And it's
and
on
Evil Gnomes.
it's on YouTube, right?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
you have it on our website too.
A link to it.
Yeah, go to paranormalcentral.net, paranormalcentral.net, and go to where it says TV shows that we were on, and Alan put a link on there where you can go and watch the show that we were on, Monsters and Mysteries. They actually did a reenactment and hired people to play us, and they did it. They almost did a good job.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Well, they mixed my actual sighting with that.
Right.
And that's what's messed up
right.
about it.
And
really.
and they got the picture, the impression on the back window with the full body, upper part body. They got that all wrong.
Yeah, they turned it like that
Sideways.
and made it where it wasn't even.
Yeah, they did it all wrong.
I guess they couldn't see it though, like they didn't even want to call and ask us which way, where is it?
Right, and that just upset me because they didn't even show the lips or the nostrils. They
Right.
didn't even show that, and that's probably the evidence that the golden ticket right there, and they didn't show it. So. All right, that's it, you guys. Thank you very much. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez with Alan
night,
Thomas,
everyone.
Danny Valdrama, and Heidi Hollis. We'll see you guys next Sunday, same time. Hope you guys show up. We had a blast. See ya. Good night.
You have been listening to Paranormal Central with Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting worldwide at ParanormalCentral.net and on ArtBell.com. Stay tuned for next time. Remember to keep your eyes to the skies. And we hope you witness something you cannot explain.